What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
Coach,
Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Got to get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so past it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing. We switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gap. Smitty and Jason Brown.
To the Coach JP show.
What up? We are in the building live on a Merciless Monday. Welcome back to the show. Been a long 5 days or 4 days, whatever it is. Hope everybody had a happy 4th of July, Independence Day. As you know, I did smoke a couple briskets, smoke some tri-tip, chicken, you name it. Short, fat, skinny, tall. I did it all. So appreciate everybody popping back in on this Monday as we get ready about 7 weeks away from college football, about 9 weeks away from NFL football. So stay tuned as the realest show on planet Earth is just getting ready and ramped up. So let's dive into this thing. We got a lot going on today. It is Merciless Monday. Big Shaun King will join us. Jeff Nadu is going to join us. We're going to break down all things real, of course, on this show, as we always do. But make sure before you do, pound that like, subscribe, become a member of our Discord, Slap Nation, through winnable.com/slap-picks, as we will have all the picks during the football season, college and NFL. So stay with Winnable. We aren't going nowhere. We're just ready to get ramped up once the football season starts. We'll have every major better capper on there. So make sure you head on over to winnable.com/slap-picks and then download the Discord app and then find Slap Nation and become a member of that as well. So let's get into this show. Cam Ward tells Shedeur Sanders he's bullshitting, apparently. Go ahead and take a listen.
Yo, bullshit. We gotta start getting water. We gotta start getting on the phones.
Let me get that one.
Yo, bullshit.
I can't stay hydrated, man?
Yo, bullshit. We don't get water. Bullshit, y'all can't handle that heat. That's what it is. It's cool though.
Bro. Hey,
that's your team.
Here, bro.
Huh?
What? You live out here.
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing.
What's the code? You come to where I'm at.
I've been up there. It's colder.
These ain't get water. 8423.
Basically, Cam Ward called him out, Shedeur Sanders, and I'm going to dive into it to start this show off. These dudes basically get together. Let me give you a little insight on what's going on here. A bunch of kids across the country, this has been going on for a long time. They would get with a common denominating trainer or quarterback guy, all right? They get together in these offseason and they run routes, they throw, usually, like I said, with some type of quarterback coach or a trainer. Cam Ward has been known to talk a lot of shit to other competition on the field, and this is no different. I'm not looking into this too deep, to be real honest. Cam Ward, now better, also shit or get off the pot, because now all eyes are on him after he poked the bear. That bear being the media's favorite puppet, Shedeur Sanders. Let's just keep it real. This is a kid who is often in the news, in the media, using social media to grow his brand. I don't think Shedeur minded it one bit. It is good publicity for him, his brand, and Colorado, to be quite honest. Cam Ward is now at Miami, where all eyes are on him and that program as well. My point by saying all this is this. As we start this week off, be humble, play football. The game that actually gave you all these platforms to begin with, and go win. All this other shit will just be show topics for shows like this one and everyone else is out there. Just saying. Let's dive into this show real quick. Cam Ward tells Shedeur Sanders that he is bullshit, and we're going to dive into that in full totality. Bronny James scores 4 points in a Summer League debut, then misses the second game. Caitlin Clark becomes the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. Thank fuck I watched that. And the Kings land DeMar DeRozan. Yes, the Kings up in Sacramento, in California, the same state that has the highest tax bracket in the country. The same place, but actually it's worse than LA. It's even a bigger shithole. And guess what? DeRozan, being from LA, said no to the Lakers and went to the Kings. Wow. We're going to make it make sense. In a sign-and-trade deal, the Lakers are all bad. Bottom. It is bottoms out, bottom feeders. The Lakers have hit rock bottom. It is a fucking travesty going on here in LA. Malik Neighbors seen throwing thousands in a strip club. We're going to dive into that, and I got a whole rant for that one and make it make sense. But before we begin, my co-host and Naptown legends, Far East Side, 317, LeBron Hairline having, Lamar Jackson loving, AR5 defending, Caitlin Clark jocking, Fox Sports Radio.
What's going on, JB? What's going on, chat? I ain't seen y'all all week. The holiday was crazy. Shout out to my family. Pulled up, Mom Dukes, little sister, aunties, cousins, my grandma. Man, I've been eating good for 4 days straight. My stomach hurt right now, JB. I'm not eating nothing all day, man. My stomach is hurting. I'm probably 290 right now.
Why are you hurting?
Man, I've been eating wings. I've been eating tacos, all types of loaded fries, margaritas, 5-hour energies, cookies, brownies. I just been eating all types of BS. I ain't worked out since Thursday, so I'm back to it today. I'm gonna kind of refocus my body, get a cleanse, and get back on this grind.
You got some BGs then.
I ain't had no BGs. I don't think. I think I got gas. I think I got a big gas bubble in my stomach right now. And at any moment, boom. At any moment. You ever watch Nutty Professor?
Yeah, but boom, what's boom mean?
You heard them fireworks the other night. It's gonna be that in my stomach. Is what I'm trying to say. But I'm good right now, man. I'm here. I miss y'all, man. I ain't seen y'all in a long time. And shout out to our guy, Roy Hicks. Sent me a video this morning. Probably sent it to JB as well. He's at work watching the show right now, grinding while all y'all laying down, being lazy. Shout out to our guy, Roy Hicks, always showing love to the show. And let's get to it.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's get right into the quote of the day, brought to you by betonline.ag. What up, man? The real Coach AB here for the Coach AB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's BetOnline. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to BetOnline today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Peace. Let's dive into it. BetOnline.ag. Head on over there. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV. Quote of the day. Stay away from people that act victim in a problem they created.
You can't put your back against the wall and then yell out and say, I need some help when you the one that did it yourself. You can't. Don't act like the victim. Don't act like the person who's in trouble, who needs help, when you the person who put yourself in that trouble in the first place. You didn't have to do that, JB. You didn't have to put yourself in that position, JB. Joe Core, $5. Keeping all the Houston people in our thoughts for sure. They got a bad hurricane right now, JB. T's and P's for everybody in Houston. But yeah, that's a great quote, JB. Stay away from people that act victim in a problem they created. That's a bar.
Yeah, that's number one right now. That's all we see every day. Social media has created that, by the way, just FYI. Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. Use the promo code CoachJB. A real man will take you on vacation without expecting sex. That man is your father, not me, because we fucking contrary to belief.
Now that's an all-timer. Now that's an all-timer right there. That's hilarious. That man is your father.
I should have told Bailey not to put it on the bottom because it would have been better. I didn't think about it, but I was like, fuck, let me throw this out there, man. A real man, ladies, will take you on vacation without expecting sex. That should be your father or your stepfather or maybe your uncle or something. Some uncles are weirdos, though. I wouldn't fuck with them, but that's your father, not me, because we fucking.
So what you're saying is, if you fly a woman out on vacation,
I don't do that shit. No,
but just hypothetically though,
yeah.
The expectation is that you getting some for sure.
I think there's been videos we broke down this show, haven't we? Like, there's been videos where like the broad flies out or whatever, and the dude was like, "What's crazy?" And she she wanted money and all this shit. And he was like, "Well, yeah, we fucking then, right?" And like she wasn't trying to fucking shit. Remember I think I remember that last year. Like, first of all, you better have some sort of relationship if you're coming out, right?
Right, for sure.
So there's obviously you coming out to chill, fuck, do all that shit. Let's just be real. Like, you're not coming out to. I'm not flying out nobody just to meet you and wine and dine you, motherfucker. I can do that with a random bitch right here.
Right.
Come on, man. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's dive into the poll question right out the gate. Who will win more games after that Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders little, I'll say competitive juices were flowing the other day? Who's going to win more games? The Big Smitty. Drop it in the chat below. Miami or Colorado?
Actually, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I know we've looked at their schedules, and shout out to Baby for putting this on there. I see one loss for sure, week 3. Outside of that, though, man, Miami has a pretty favorable schedule, if I'm being honest, and they have a ton of talent on that team. Putting all bias aside, you got to be real. I think Miami wins more games. I think Miami, based upon what we see, I think they have overall more talent on that team. I like their schedule. Now, I like Colorado's schedule as well, but I've been telling you pretty much all offseason now, I predict Colorado will win 7 or 8 games. But to Steve Kim's point, if Miami does that, that's a letdown. I think Miami's going to win like double digits. They should go like 10-2, that type of year, with one of those losses being in week 3. They better. Like you said,
I think it's even worse. I think it's even all eyes on Cam Ward more and more now, though, because you started to fucking poke the social media bandit, which is Shedeur Sanders. Everybody protects Shedeur Sanders. Big Smitty knows Shedeur Sanders' social security number, phone numbers, birthday. He knows Shedeur up and down on weight. Smitty came in here was like, Shedeur Sanders down 3 pounds. And I'm like, damn, how you down 3 pounds? He's like, I see it in his jawline.
I was talking to my connect out there. They said they had morning workouts today, and the strength coach made Shedeur stay after workouts, and they gave him 4 scoops of some muscle milk and a triple deck stick peanut butter and jelly sandwich to try to put that weight back on him. So I'll keep y'all posted when he updates.
I'm just fucking around. Smitty don't know all that about him, but I'm just fucking around. Everyone loves Shedeur Sanders, so everyone now is going to come at Cam Ward. Now they're going to come at Cam Ward like, what you doing? You calling out Shedeur Sanders. Woo-doo. Look, Cam Ward has been known for these workouts right here to call out corners, safety, DBs, covering their receivers. He'll call out receivers if they drop the ball, run the wrong route. He's a old school quarterback mentality. I've heard that about him before. That he'll chirp a lot. That's what I used to do on the field. When we used to work out, I used to do the same thing to my guys. But then afterwards, I'm buying them lunch and we're chilling. That's just what when we're on that field though and getting better in that off season, it's a mentality. But just remember that all eyes are on Cam Ward now too, because once you call out Shedeur Sanders, because you know, Smitty, and as well as I do, you go out and lose a couple games or one game even in the beginning, and they're going to bring back this clip right here.
Right.
They're going to bring back this fucking clip. And here's the thing about it. I want to break down on this thing real quick. Cam Ward was late by 40 minutes to this workout. And then he wants to call out Shedeur Sanders. Now, here's the thing about it. Apparently, he was coming from one workout to another, blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, well, you was 40 minutes late to your own shit, Cam. Why are you calling out this guy? Why are you better than him? Woo, woo, woo. It's always back and forth. This is like social media back and forth BS. And I'm just like, dude, it's kind of like, you know, you don't know if it's real anymore. You don't know if it's for clicks. You don't know if it's fake. You don't know who's there. I told you, though, to start the show, these workouts are usually held by some common denominator that has ties with both parties, and that's a quarterback coach or a trainer. And this is exactly what I thought. I haven't seen this, but Cam had a mandatory school workouts. Then he drove 40 minutes to meet us to work out again. Everybody else in the video is on break. Said he was late because we had to wait on him to finish up and get out. And then everything said in this video is how we joke with each other. And that is also true. See, that's why I started the show with, I didn't see this before. That's why I started the show with, well, you should talk when you work out, dog. That's what you do. You should talk. You talk shit. He should be talking shit to Shedeur to get him better. Shedeur should be talking shit to him to get him better. This is what we did in the offseason all the time. We've been doing this since I was playing in high school, college, talking shit. We get other players from other team programs around talking shit that we grew up with or went to junior high with, and the homies got together in the summer, and we're going to beat your ass this year, but we're working out together. Like, we're going to work out together and get better, but we're going to beat you this year. We're going to talk shit, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
This normal shit to me as a football player. This is normal shit as a coach. All we can bring up is Shedeur Sanders is in the media again, and Cam Ward is now the guy, as over the last few weeks, is starting to become more relevant in this social media space. A guy that's transferred a few times. Cam Ward, there's no saint going on here. Cam Ward, you got to perform now too, dog. You've been in the news a lot too. You're at a high profile place, so like, it's just become, I don't know. It's kind of getting old for me. Like, I just want to see dudes ball and go fucking ball out and get better. Like, it's one thing, Smitty, to do all this talking and go out there and be fucking mid as shit, which I call the QB marketplace right now. I call it mid as fuck. I think it's the worst quarterbacks ever played and ever been. I've been on that shit for 2 or 3 years now. It's one thing to talk shit and be ballers and go out there and be like NFL first rounders, and then like, all right, these motherfuckers is playing the position the right way. They're not just out there running around doing ad-lib shit because they don't know where the first read is and then where the second read takes them. That's one thing. But when you talk shit and you're not that guy and you're out here just fucking throwing shit at the wall, see if it sticks, I lose interest, dog. It's like, man, we've come a long way at the quarterback position. We've fallen a long way off. But
these two cats, I mean, all projections is that these are 2 first-round quarterbacks going into next year. And obviously they got here this next season and do the damn thing, but based upon, you know, all preseason signs and even things that we've seen last year, both these guys should be first or second round
Smitty, let me
quarterbacks
ask you,
going to next year.
let me ask you this: what is a first round pick nowadays, though, at quarterback?
It depends on each year. It depends on the market that year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I don't think so. I think it's bigger picture. I don't think it's the market that year. I think the market's set. I think the market is what it is in the quarterback position. I think we've seen that. I mean, this is the worst. This is the worst draft I've seen at quarterback in a long time. This next year, I think, might be worse. I'm looking at it next year. I'm like, I don't see a lot of. I don't see it. I think it's even worse next year. Like, I don't know, Smitty. I'm just thinking, like, the reason you say these are 2 first rounders. When would those 2 guys be first rounders in any other legitimate draft class coming out of college? When you really look back in history, like, these 2 guys ain't no first rounders.
Yeah, I had to.
Now they are, Smitty. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking no shot. I'm just saying now you are first rounders. But I don't, in my opinion, my eyes, like, I go back and I'm looking, okay, class. I'm like, these guys ain't first round. This is not what JB sees anyway. Like, when I look at quarterbacks and the greatness of the history of college football coming out. Now, listen, we've had guys that we thought were going to be great and be bust, and we had 6th round guys like Tom Brady be great, right? We get all that.
Right.
There's no computer analytics or GM in the world or scout that is 100% balls accurate every year. There's just not. And everyone fucking is wrong with somebody, and somebody's going to prove somebody wrong, which they should be trying to do. Like, if I'm Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, I would be trying to prove all the haters and naysayers and critics wrong instead of giving them more fuel. I'd just be like, man, it's time to go now. I mean, Smitty, this is time to go. It's July.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
but to their credit, that's what they're doing. They outside throwing the ball around. That's what you want to see. Yeah. But like I said, that's what they're doing. They're outside throwing the ball around. They're working. Yeah, we're just seeing the aftermath of them trash talking. But like you said 2 times, like, this is regular. It's like a normal. This is the expectation. If you play ball, I would do this too. Like you said, I like Cam doing this kind of, being a little fiery, because a lot of times if you do see one of your guys slacking a little bit, coming out, maybe it's one of those days where you see your teammate or your friend, whoever, is a little tired, and you can tell the energy's not where it's supposed to be at. Sometimes you do this as like a pick-me-up, as a way to get them going, to talk a little trash in front of everybody else to get them going. So, like, I like this. I don't have a problem with this. And I like the fact that they're outside working out. To your point, it is time. It's July. And campus are right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's probably their last little week off, whatever, before it's time to really get going. So the fact that they're spending their time off out here working out together, getting better, that's what I want to see. Now, it has to translate when they put the pads on, of course. And, hey, we're about a month away or whatever to, like, really seeing how it translates. And once that film comes on, nothing else before that matters. Nothing else we've talked about on this show matters, because the film don't lie. The eye in the sky won't lie, never has, never will, and we will see who's real and who's fake. So,
yeah, Latrell, I don't know, Latrell, your young ass better stay out my chat if you talking about what draft class Shedeur gonna be. Come on, man, you must not have seen a lot of football, Latrell. If you think Shedeur Sanders is a fucking #1 pick overall and a big time first round quarterback, come on, Latrell. Your ass is too. You still play for me, motherfucker. You a baby. Stop. All right, let's dive into this big topic, Smitty. There's a lot going on, and this is a guy that came at me. He's a nobody. He's a fucking absolute nobody. I never knew who he was. His face just gave me, like, what do you call it, cringe vibes. He has that face that you just want to, like, fucking pound his face. He has that face. So I never knew who he was. Everybody was tagging me, I want to say a year or 2 ago. And this guy made a whole series of videos about me and just coming at me. And I'm like, who the fuck is this nobody? So then he DM'd me and was like, Coach, I just want to talk to you and come on my show. I'm like, you're a fucking nobody. I'm not coming on your nobody's show. I only go on somebody's show. I don't go on nobody's show. So he's viral now, Smitty. Apparently he's got like 40 million views on this video because every NFL player in known mankind either retweeted, commented, or made a video about this dude.
Rico knows, right? Rico knows.
Oh, that's what it was. D. Jones, you're right. D. Jones is right. That's what it was about. Thank you, D. Jones. You're not so bad after all. He said that I lied, Smitty, and said I only sent one guy D1. Like, that's the video he made.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like, there's no, like, I don't even need to come back. Like, and then everybody's in the thing. Like, you do know, like, there's like X, Y, Z, L, J, B are all in the NFL, right? You do know that these guys all are 40 guys win D1 every year, right? Like, I didn't have to say nothing.
Your fans and everybody, all the supporters.
Well, just Google search. So I'm like, why would you lie about that? Like, why would you say that? So that's how we got off. And I didn't even respond. I just tagged him or whatever in the response.
Right,
and I'm
right.
like, who the fucking nobody is this? So anyway, this guy made a video, Smitty. I don't know if we have it or whether we're going to show it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do got the video. Obviously, Kyrie Jackson, NFL player who just got drafted to the Vikings, had passed away. Tragically, everyone was kind of, putting out their condolences and kind of, just putting out typical tweets you put out when someone passes away out of respect. And then Rico's initial thing was just, in my opinion, disrespectful. But let's go ahead and show the video.
Before we do that,
whoa.
Can we pause it right there? Yep. Leave it right there. Before, so I got to hear just a little bit of this guy because I see his face and I look at him. I'm like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I don't really want to listen to this guy.
He got a mohawk. I ain't seen a mohawk in like 15 years.
I'm sitting there like, I don't really want to hear this fucking nobody talk. Like, who the fuck is he? Number one, nobody. That's who. So
I heard he's former military. If that means
anything,
sounds
like
to
a
you.
fucking idiot. But here's the thing. I don't mind people coming out and being against the grain. Obviously, that's who I am. And I have no issue with that. And I think we oversensitize deaths in this country. I think that once a person dies, good, bad, or indifferent, I think if you say anything about that person, you're going to automatically be on the left, on the outs with the majority.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that actually say, fuck that. This is who this guy is. This guy is this guy, blah, blah, blah. And because I think the truth still should be said. Like, that's just what it is. I don't think you should.
Or it don't need to be said.
Yeah, but you don't. Then don't write a fucking obituary then on Twitter because you don't know the dude, Smitty. Who knows this kid? He don't know.
I don't. But his family.
That's what I'm saying. He don't know him either.
That's somebody's son, though. That's somebody's cousin. That's somebody's brother.
Then don't say nothing.
If somebody said somebody, one of your family members who passed away who wasn't perfect, or my family who wasn't perfect, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
No. But I'm saying don't say nothing is my point. Don't say nothing. Like, here's my thing. Don't say nothing because you don't know him. So stop doing the whole reactive tweet about T's and P's, kings and queens. We lost another one. You don't know him. But stay out of it.
Even us, we come on this show and say T's and P's for people who pass away, all-time greats who have passed away in the last year, who maybe you know some of them a little bit or whatever. Some of you did know. Bill Walton is an example. Like, we don't really know Bill Walton for sure. I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. But, hey, thoughts and prayers, man, for him and his family because somebody passed away. And maybe the man wasn't perfect. But my thing, when somebody passes away, bro, your initial instinct ain't to talk about how bad a person he was. Unless some of it was some serial killer or something like that. Like, we all got a closet, man. We all got some shit that we did that we want to dig up. I'm sure I can find some stuff about Rico Knows that's bad and malicious and stuff that he shouldn't have did. I'm not saying the Kyrie guy is a great dude or a bad dude. I don't know either direction. But your initial instinct when somebody passes away isn't to go out here and talk about how bad of a person he is. And then talk about, I look at death differently. Okay, cool. But maybe his mom don't. Maybe his sister don't. Maybe his son don't. Whatever. They don't. So, like,
Smitty,
my question
you don't get my point, though.
What was your intentions, not you, Rico, when you made this video?
I'm with you on this. My point before we get into this is I just want to be clear on this point because I do this quite often, obviously. T's and P's go out. We talked about, Roberto Clemente passing away or Larry Allen, who I grew up with, or even if I didn't grow up with him, though, we're going to say T's and P's or whatever, right?
Right, out of respect.
Because he played in NFL. He's a longtime legend. Most guys. I really don't know these young cats. You don't see me doing T's and P's for these young cats. I let the social media world handle that. And these younger kids know, unless you played for me or some crazy shit happened, unfortunate situation, I pray never happen or happens. But I'm not going to say T's and P's if I don't know the kid that is a young kid like this or the situation because of the negative side of it. Like, What if the kids or people that pass, unfortunately pass regardless, are shitbirds? What if they really are bad people? What if they really did something? I know people that have passed away, Smitty, that I know that assaulted women, that were weirdo fucks. Fuck them. Like, that's just me, right? Like, I'm not going to do a video about them, T's and P's, or the other way, and do a video about something like this. That's my point. I'm saying there are people that pass away who are fucking shitbirds too. And the truth of the matter is he's a shitbird. He was a shitbird, what have you. So I'm saying there's two sides. So just stay out of it if you don't know him or if you're not involved or what have you. Because this guy, this fucking nobody, apparently came out and has created a whirlwind, and I really haven't dove into the whole thing, but I've been getting tagged in this guy because people know he came at me. So let's take a listen, Smitty, and give our reaction.
Hey, TikTok, Rico Knows here. If you didn't hear the news, Kyrie Jackson has passed away from a car accident last night. Now, I don't have all the details. I haven't really looked into it. I'm actually on vacation right now.
Pause right there. Then don't say nothing. See, that's my thing, Smitty. Like, that's an ignorant fucking thing to say, Smitty. Like, I'm going to at least have some sort of fucking, here's what happened. If I do one of those bullshit videos like the TikTok, here's what happened. Harrison Buckner went to speak at a fucking church, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You don't know you're on vacation, you got to cut the video, homie, and not even put it out.
He just trying to be the first one to say something.
All right.
That's it.
But here's what I want to say. Somebody reached out to me in my DMs and said, Rico, you were right. Because you said he was a terrible person and you said he was this. I just want to get this out there right now. When I talked to former players who have played, former teammates who have played with Kyrie Jackson, they all had the same kind of message, which is he's an immensely talented person, terrible person, character-wise, but he's immensely talented on the football field. So for me, I'm not going to support somebody like that.
So wait, so he's talking like this motherfucker coached him, like he knows him.
That's how he's
never met this dude.
He say when he talks to players, he must have connections in the league, I guess. I don't know.
Hope he kept his nose clean. I said, I hope he doesn't get arrested, things of that nature. I don't know the details of his car accident, so I'm not going to sit here and say I was right in any regard. I'm just going to tell you guys, decision-making is essential. Not going out at night is essential. Not driving in dangerous times, whatever it is. Like, all that stuff is decision-making. Really, you're the end result of your own decision-making. But right now, I don't handle death like everybody else. Like, I don't care about death. Death doesn't really move me all that much. I've seen a lot of death in my life. It's just the nature of who I am. So while everybody reacts to death differently, I am going to sit here and tell you guys that you can learn from other people's mistakes, whatever it is. And I saw the post on Twitter where everybody's saying, all I heard is good things about this man. He worked so hard. He made it from a deli, working in a deli. He had no interest in him out of high school, all this stuff. It's like, yeah, the reason he had to be at a deli and the reason nobody had interest in him is because he was kicked out of 4 different universities for substandard conduct. And for the last 12 months, he had managed to do the right things while at Oregon. Not even 12 months, but for the last 8 months or so, he managed to do the right thing. Hope for the best, and it didn't work out. If you live fast, you make poor decisions, you're going to die fast, and it might be the end result of your decisions. That being said, there's a family out there hurting because they just lost somebody they love and care about. I don't know them personally. I don't wish anybody condolences. I don't get down like that. I don't send prayers or none of that shit. I don't care about any of that. Your problems are your problems. Your deaths are your deaths. Mine are mine. So it is what it is, right? So it's unfortunate, but please stop spamming me about how right I was. We don't know the details. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows.
He keeps saying we don't know the details, but then
Rico knows.
He's right. Rico knows. He say he don't know the details, but then he's basically, without saying directly, he's like indirectly placing the blame of the car accident or whatever on him without having the details. If you hear, like, read between the lines, people can say stuff without saying stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically the message that I'm getting. And listen, my thing is timing is everything, bro. And the man just passed away, bro. And your first video was talking about, oh, well, he wasn't a good guy. He got kicked out of all your schools. Like, what's the win in that? Is what I'm saying. What's the intentions of that? What's the, even if all that's true? Let's say it's all true because I don't know the guy. Okay, cool. Kicked out, shitbird. Let's say all that's true hypothetically. And Like what like and like what? Why?
Here's the thing. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. I agree with you. Here's the thing. Like, unless you coach that kid and you recruited him and you have a fucking tie with that dude, there's no reason for you. You're a nobody, homie. Rico, no, you're not. Rico doesn't know. You're a fucking nobody. So, like, who are you? Like, I have real ties, like cell phone connections with the former head coach of this kid.
Right.
I sent you guys a message, obviously. We're going to keep that between us because it just doesn't need to be out there. That's in confidence with my buddy. But here's the thing, like, so I don't know the kid. I didn't coach the kid. That's not my business. Like, it's not my business. What I can come out and do is say, these things have happened. We've had these discussions on this show before with Jalen Carter. What's happened with the Ruggs kid for the Raiders. We've seen the tragedies that have occurred, and it goes back to what I always stand on business with and saying we're giving the car keys to the kids before they learn to drive. And I've been saying this for years and years and years, and it has nothing to do with this situation. It has something to do with the overall scope of these younger kids who really, I'm just telling you, I had a conversation the other day. I was like, dog, let's be real. These kids don't know how to drive, Smitty. And I don't mean drive, getting the car started and go from point A to point B. I mean drive, Smitty, in real life situations when an oil slick is on the road and the water hits the road and you lose traction and you got to steer the other way and you got to know when to brake and how far away and how fast you're going and your blind spots. And then you got distractions, the homies in there, and are you smoking a cigar? Are you smoking weed? Have you had a couple drinks? All these things tie into experience-based, hands-on experience, Smitty. And these kids are getting car keys to, you and I talked about your boys at Auburn, like Chargers and Maybachs and fucking Lambos and University of Texas doing videos. This is what they do. This is that they're flossing now. Smitty, it is a difference to go, no offense, from your car to, let's say, my Beamer.
Right.
Total difference. From my Beamer to a fucking Lambo, total fucking difference. Like, cars are different. Even though the same speed limit applies on the freeway, cars are fucking different. There's a reason the odometer and the speedometer have different tacks on them. There's a reason why my truck has 180 on it, and people are like, damn, I've never seen a truck with 180. Yeah, it's a Vortec Corvette engine in a Cadillac EXT. That's what they did. That's what they put in them motherfuckers. Plus, they're light. So that truck beat a fucking 5.0 in a quarter mile if you really want to fuck with me. But that's a whole nother story. People don't know that. Put a 17-year-old that's never drove, change the oil or the brakes, Smitty, and has no regard for what life really is, put them behind the wheel of one of these cars that NILs are now giving them. Like, let's just be real. I'm just talking about the big scope and things.
Right. And just for clarity for people who just now joined her in the chat, like JB just said, he's talking about the bigger picture, not just this individual situation. Because I know in this individual story, from what I read, Kyrie was in the passenger seat of a Charger. Somebody else who might have been drinking hit them and caused them to crash. They weren't doing anything wrong. Someone else switched lanes, was going too fast, hit the back of their Charger. They went out of control, and I think 3 people in the car died on the scene. So just for clarity, if you just now joined it, he's talking about the bigger picture of what's going on with young people driving.
I know nothing about anything about this whole case. All I'm telling you is that I do know the facts of the matter is I saw that there was a female, big female, I think, was driving the car. And I think his homeboy and himself were in the car. 2 dudes and a girl, I guess, right? The girl was the driver.
3 of them total. Yeah, I believe so.
And a drunk driver hit them, and now they're saying that alcohol is involved in the whole case, which could be the driver that hit them. I don't know anything about it. Now, here's the thing. So I'm not even going to comment on any of that. What I'm saying is the scope of this shit is still back to the deal. I'm not going to say I'm invincible or behind the wheel or this couldn't happen to me, you, anyone we know, Smitty. I'm not going to go out and say some stupid shit like that. What I'm going to say is, though, that you can't tell me, because I saw all 3 of those kids, unfortunately, with their kids. To me, they're babies. Can't tell me they got the fucking wheel experience to get out from any type of situation that's coming their way either. And you're in the backwoods or wherever, and you're coming from a club at whatever time. To me, that's experience in its own right, Smitty. Getting in that fucking two-way highway, getting on that motherfucker to start with is an experience-based decision. Like, that's what I'm trying to explain to everybody out there. Like, I'm just trying to throw that out there. Like, we got to understand there's an experience to this thing. And that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, why are we seeing more and more of these youngsters passing, though? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm bringing up. We're seeing this more and more and more and more. And 24 is a kid, Jason Lawan. What is 24? Fucking experienced life liver? Shut your fucking asses up with this 24-year-old shit is a grown man. No, he's not. He might be a grown man because he pays taxes and can drink, motherfucker. That don't mean he's a goddamn experienced, grown up in life situations. I'm tired of you motherfuckers hearing about all this shit. He's not a grown man. He's 24. You all call, oh, he's grown. He ain't fucking even, he don't even know what life is yet. Like, come on, man. You guys got to miss me with this shit. You can classify him, Smitty, as a grown-up because he's 24. Cool. But you know what I'm saying, Smitty, as far as life lessons, life experiences. Come on, man. 30 years old, people still talking about your life ain't even begun yet. I remember when I was 30, Smitty, your age. Come on, man. Look how many things you're learning right now every day that can help you. Like, damn, I would have been dead 5 years ago if I would have did that shit. Like, people don't really bring that shit up. But anyway, we're beating a dead horse. This guy is a fucking idiot for speaking on it. He has no ties with anybody in the situation. He has no ties with the kid. He don't know fucking nobody. Who's giving Rico knows inside information in the football world? And number one. Number two, the kid's a rookie. He hasn't played yet. So what NFL ties do you have? And number three, he's obviously mentioning what he has in college, what college ties he must have with somebody that he apparently knows that played with this kid in college at one of his schools, but you still don't know shit. You're a fucking nobody with a mohawk that does videos that wanted a little bit of clout. You got it, and now I'm sure he'll probably be canceled anywhere else. And now you got motherfuckers calling him out. I think Des Bryant made a video about the kid or something.
Yeah, I believe so. Let's check it out.
Message to the people who get caught up in situations listening to people negativity about somebody else. So check this out. If you ever experiencing some shit like that and that person not around, the person they talking shit about not around, 9 times out of 10, that person, the bitch, might be lying. Some low-key personal shit going on within that situation. So don't fall for that bullshit. And if you are one of those people that slightly got something towards the person they speaking upon, but you really don't know nothing about it, but you just needed that little bit of whatever to feel your way about that person, 9 times out of 10, you a bitch too. But for my real ones, stay solid. For you suckers, fuck you.
He didn't say much right there, but basically, I mean, people just, you know, at the end of the day, man, I think we hit the nail on the head here. Don't speak about something that you don't know about, number one. Number two, even if you do know about it, okay, this is somebody died. Somebody died who's 24 years old. So I don't care if he got kicked out of school, if his grades was bad, if he got kicked out for smoking weed. I don't care what he did as a kid in college. I know a lot of people, teammates I've had in college and stuff like that, who had to go through a little bit of a maturity phase, you know, to really learn the ropes. Obviously, Coach JB knows. Y'all know him for what? Last Chance U. A lot of those cats got in trouble at their previous school or their grades were messed up and they had to get another chance. That don't mean those kids are bad kids. They just, hey, everybody's not the exact maturity level at 18, 19, and 20 as you think they should be. So I'm not going to let their history of whatever happened dictate or use that to define who a human being is. I'm not going to call somebody a bad person because of a few minor decisions that got made when they were a kid. Unless, again, there's outliers, of course, duh. But he ain't killed nobody. He ain't assault nobody. To my knowledge, none of that, nothing like to that level happened. My thing is he passed away as somebody's kid, somebody's brother, somebody's friend, and the first thing you say isn't putting out that he's a bad guy, he did this and that. Like, bro, I would be so pissed if that was my family member. I'm pissing it and I don't know him.
Here's the thing, Smitty. Like, to your point, like, if you hear me talk shit and do my takes and everyone's like, JB wild and crazy, the person I'm talking about is touchable. He could holler at me. He could holler at me. I'll holler at him. You've never seen me do some rant or video about some motherfucker that's dead. I'll say if he's dead, it's real quick. Hey, rest in peace to one of the greatest I ever got to see play. Or in Larry Allen's instance, someone I knew, or something like that. If he's died, I'm not doing a thing about him if I didn't know him in a negative manner or a negative context, because he ain't here to defend himself, Smitty.
Right.
And to me, it's epitome of bitch made cat. If the kid ain't here, the guy is not here to talk back, then you have a issue. So I'm just trying to figure out why he came out and said that, because to me, you have no ties in this kid. You have no fucking, there's no recourse either, because the kid is gone, unfortunately. He can't talk back. Now, guess what, though? You're going to have a lot of motherfuckers that don't know this kid either, who are going to defend him, who might touch you up just on GP because you wrote a video about someone that passed, and now they like the kid because he was a player. And now, guess what? Like, I'm just saying, dog, it's a bitch move to me because the kid can't even defend himself in that pass. And we don't know the situation. You can investigate all you want. You can do all the investigations you want, and then the story's going to come out about whatever. There's a drunk driver. There was this involved, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Someone said this guy was a nobody yesterday. Today he's a somebody. No, he's still a nobody. This will go by real quick too. He doesn't have a longevity. He's not on a show that lasts for years and years and years. He's not a mainstream media personality. He's not on ESPN. He's a nobody. This is a 10-minute moment, and he'll be back forgotten again. He'll gain 100 followers, maybe 1,000. Who knows? But it'll probably be followers to just see him fall in his demise, not to see him grow and become a guy they want to follow and look up to or be like. Like, let's just be real. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just thought it was a bitch-made move to talk about somebody you have no clue about, you don't know nothing about. And
we agree on that.
I just thought it was a weird take.
Yeah, like, it was a weird take. It was a take you could tell you didn't have information on either.
You start the show off saying you're on vacation, you know nothing about it.
That right there discredits everything you're about to say. Right there,
you should have just, So Tristan, thanks a lot, Tristan 2700 said he lost 6,000 followers. Actually, I'm glad you're tracking motherfuckers' followers. That's weird in its own right.
But thank you though. We appreciate you, Tristan, for the information.
That tells you about social media. Motherfuckers tracking this nobody's followers.
You're hilarious, man. But one thing I do want to talk about though, JB, is make it make sense. Because word on the street is from my people, from my sources, and I got real sources who I spoke with, that you got to fire, make it make sense to end this first hour, this first block. And I think it's time to go ahead and hear that from you right now, JB. What's on your mind?
It's Compton in the house. Without a doubt. It's Compton in the house. Without a doubt. It's Compton in the house. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Make it make sense. Brought to you by Winnable. Head on over to winnable.com/slappicks and purchase the first down package today as we get ready 7 weeks away from college football season. Actually, 6.5 weeks. About 8.5 weeks from the NFL season kicking off. So Winnable is going to be fire. It's going to have all our picks on there, and plus everybody else, all the NFL legends that are going to come on the show. Make it make sense, Smitty. Malik Neighbors went out to a titty bar the other night. If you haven't seen it, we're going to talk about it on the other side of this commercial after this take here. But went to a titty bar, flaunting his money around, throwing it away essentially at naked women, which, contrary to belief, all men have done at some point in our lives. I'm going to keep it real. You know I'm going to keep it real, Smitty. Let's be real on this realest show on planet Earth. Maybe we threw money away, but probably not to the extent of the amount Malik threw around the other night. But make it make sense. This is a rookie who hasn't busted a grape yet in this league. And we know 78% of NFL players go broke once their NFL career ends within 3 years. That's quite the percentage if we are keeping it real. So I ask, why do these kids continue to do this in this manner so quickly? Go make your money, create generational wealth, and then have a titty bar at your house. I truly hate to see the end before the beginning. I hate to see nobody come to the forefront and tell this young man he's going to regret nights like these. Nobody is checking your pockets, young fella. Do you? But do smart you, not dumb you. Make it make sense. Smitty, go ahead and make a comment about that real quick before we end this.
Listen. Shout out to Malik Neighbors, man. I just know, like you said, a lot of us.
What was that face for? I don't get it.
I just know a lot of people didn't been to the strip club, man, over the years. I know a lot of people that didn't threw money at the strip club. I know some people that's thrown maybe a little more money than they planned to throw that night because of the entertainment that was around. Yeah, it's from a financial situation, it's a bad decision. But from people that I know, I don't know two people that's actually regretted it, because, typically you go to strip club when you got a little extra money in your pocket to throw. You're not going there typically to throw your rent money. Now, that's a dumb decision. But if you go there, typically you got a little extra money in your pocket, you feeling good, you with the homies or the homegirls, and you just trying to have a good night. You know what I'm saying? I know optically it's probably a bad look. Optics, again, a lot of shit just look bad because it's on the phone. But ain't nothing new under the sun, man. We done all been to Sam's Hoff Brawl. We done all been to Crazy Girls. We done all been to PTs. We done all been to, Sunset out in Indianapolis on the west side. Like, I'm just throwing examples of places that other people have been to that I haven't been to. So I'm just saying, I can't sit here and I would be a walking contradiction. I'll be a walking hypocrite, if I went out here and just bash Malik Neighbors. Now, I would say tell your homeboy, whoever was recording it. But other than that, hey, go out there and have fun, man. This don't make it an every night thing. You know what I'm saying? But hey, he ain't throwing too much. He ain't throwing.
Yeah, I just don't know who's in his corner.
Right. That's true.
Why do we want to show this? You haven't made it yet, homie. You have not made it contrary to belief.
Right.
Who was that one kid that did it? He did it too, man, with his girl like in the crib.
The Chiefs receiver.
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy. Yeah, but he was doing a TikTok video at home, though. He didn't really waste the money. He picked it back up, put it back in his pocket.
Yeah, it wasn't waste money. That's why I'm saying there's a difference here. But at the same time, I did a video on him like, why floss this shit right now? You haven't made shit yet. Like, this is the same shit, in my opinion. This is the same fucking thing. This is that generation. We haven't made it yet, and 78% of you young men will be broke in 3 years after your league ends. Your league run ends. Like, I'm trying to figure out who's really in these motherfuckers' corners. Like, no, shut the fuck up. Go sit down someplace. I just don't get it. Like, it's a social media clout chase that we are on nowadays over going to run routes, over going to fucking dig out the POA on the backside and go get the safety, over fucking learn how to run block. Like, I just don't get it, man. The value of the game has gone south. Like, I don't know. That's just me.
I got a little bit more on this, but let's go to commercial break, and I'll put my last final take on it once we come back out of it. And then I know we got a lot more loaded for you guys as well, man. So
we'll be back in 4 minutes. Let me get coffee. I'll be back in 4. Rick George in Colorado news again. Rick George has come out.
Colorado news. Sweet.
Hey, Rick George has come out in some Colorado news, and and said this. And said this.
You just save all the Colorado shit for when I come on.
Yeah.
The only ones that are for you are in this room, in this building, and our fan base. Everybody else is against you.
Clean Jays.
You see all the naysayers out there. They got us 14th in
Discipline wins right there. It's big as fuck. Look at that.
the conference. Figure that. 14th in the conference. That's a sign of a lack of respect. But the only way you get that respect is you go out and earn it.
Why is he reading off the thing?
It's about us. And I believe that you have to have an appetite for hard work. You gotta want it. Every day that you come in here, when you go down and see Mo and the team down there, you gotta want it. You gotta want to win that championship so bad that nothing else matters.
Now, look, be real careful, you two, going in on my man Rick George. I ain't gonna hear it.
I know Rick. I'm cool with Rick.
I'm cool with Rick. Me and Rick.
Be real careful here.
Hey, let me ask you something. First of all, I don't like that he's reading off the thing. I know Rick.
Who gives a shit? It's notes, dog.
Because I know Rick well enough, so he should have came in there and been like, "Hey, man, we're ranked 14th. Fuck that. Let's go."
He did.
That's what I want to see. I don't want to see.
It's just notes, JB. Shit, man, we can't even note. You got
man,
notes.
JB, you know he hates notes. As a coach, like, you should.
I hate notes. I hate it.
To be here in heart.
You don't like notes? You don't want your players taking notes?
No,
yes, my players.
The coaches don't know.
I want everybody taking fucking notes, dude.
No,
no.
Matt's misunderstood.
I'm so confused right now. Why is
JB saying when the coach's approach is talking to the team or like a speech to hype them up, whatever the case may be, it should be like natural. It should be from the brain, from the heart. You don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Well,
come on, Matt. Come on, Matt. Matt.
It's a pretty funny thing to criticize, bro. He's the fucking AD.
Okay,
again, you're really reaching on this one, homie. He looked at his notes like twice.
Do it, JB.
And I'm doing Robert. Do
Robert Saleh.
The crow came down. Make sure you guys understand, when the eagle flies, the crow could eat the eagle, and then you get two crows. And then, listen, HBO, I know we're on Hard Knocks. Goddamn. The eagle flew down, and Aaron Rodgers, he was going to stay healthy this year. Get the fuck out of here, man. It's so disinterested. I'm so fucking disinterested when I see a guy with notes. When I see a guy with notes as a head coach or a GM or an AD or a fucking owner, I don't need to see notes. Here's the thing about it. Matt, he said something though he said something that's gonna piss you off though, and I have to piss you off before you leave the show. I want to piss you off before you leave the show so we can get a good vertical.
You can't make me mad, motherfucker.
Here's the thing. He said one thing that stood out to me on his note cards. And what he said was, that should make you mad on blatant disrespect on how they have us ranked 14th. Why? Sure. Motherfucker, what have you done? What have you done in Colorado to deserve higher ranking? How are you ranking? Why should you be ranked higher than 14th?
So let's do it your way. You're ranked 14th, and that's where you belong. You all suck. Get better. That's not gonna work.
Fucking right. That's it, Matt. That's it. It's exactly what I would have did. Exactly what I would have did. Here's what it'd been right here. All right, guys, listen. They got us ranked 14th. Okay? Fucking 14th. 14th. And guess what? I'm going to give them a big shit fucking sandwich that we're ranked 14th. You know why we're 14th? Because we ain't done shit yet. We ain't busted a grape in a fruit fight yet, motherfuckers. So how about you fucking get off your soap story and feeling sorry and get your motherfucking asses ready to go win the goddamn conference. Now let's go and go. Yeah! Yeah! That's what they would have did. Fucking book.
Got y'all ass beat when they got your ass beat game one going against Ball State in Matt's Colorado.
Look, I personally think that Rick George is a G, and I love him, and he does a great job. He's not up there to hype everybody. He has been there forever, though, and seen greatness. He was part of the staff when they won in 1990. So
it's a dope name, Rick George.
He's been around, bro. Everybody knows Rick. So I think that him using a notepad or whatever, if that fires you up, then okay, that's what hill you want to die on. But I think he's actually done a really good job, and I don't have a problem with this at all.
No, I have no issue with that either. I was fucking around, but
I'll tell you this, bro. I don't know if I've ever been more nervous for the start of a season in my entire life.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that he said
North Dakota State is scaring the shit out of me.
Yo, we are back. We are back. Second hour of the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. Become a member. Share this to all your group chats, all your friends, so they can tune in to the best show, the realest show on planet Earth. I had one little final thing I wanted to add to that Malik Neighbors conversation. I know we were having fun with it. And JB makes a good point, like, why flaunt it? Why flaunt the money, when you haven't even really, quote-unquote, earned it yet? You haven't played yet, right? The thing is, man, and JB knows this too, just growing up, where he grew up at. This has been going on for years, though, man. In the Black community, I think, a lot of us, unfortunately, you grow up and you don't really have it. So as soon as you have it, you want to showcase it in some way, whether that's throwing dollars at the strip club, whether that's showcasing by the jury, the big chains you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing, the car that you have. It's like a way to brag because, I think it kind of goes back to like a mentality of, again, it's kind of a lack of confidence, I think. I'll speak for myself, growing up poor, growing up in certain communities where it's like when you go so long without having it and you watch on TV and when you look at TV and you see, the people who look like you with the jury, with the clothes, with the money, when you finally are in that position where you have it, in your mind, it's a way of like, I don't know, it's a way of feeling like you made it, so to speak. You know what I mean? And I just think, again, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just bringing some context to it of why I believe it happens so much. To JB's point, you probably shouldn't do it. You probably should make the money, be responsible, put it in your 401k, put it in your Roth IRA, and don't showcase. Keep things in order. But we live in an imperfect world, and like JB said, man, we've all done some silly shit with our money, whether that's the strip club, whether that's buying that chain, whether it's buying that car, whether it's flying that girl out, whether it's buying that purse. Right? Like, there's so many different examples of everybody in this chat who has made a dumb purchase or did something dumb with their money, and it all stems from different experiences that we've all personally been through. So that's my last little line I want to put on it.
Here's the thing, like, to end this, like, I think there's a difference, though. Here's why I say it. And I agree with you. We've all done it, and we did stupid shit. Me and the homies, my boys got drafted, and I was sitting there as a undrafted free agent. I'm like, we're all going to the same little draft party. We're doing it for the homies. We're chilling, whatever. But, dog, I remember vividly, Smitty, whether it was me telling the fucking third round guy that got drafted, our homie, dog, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this bitch is about to get you in your pockets before you even get your bank deposited. Then we had OGs, like hood OGs, that would be like, fuck you doing, homie? Like, I don't see that no more. And that's just me. And I get it. It's more prevalent now, more relevant now with social media. It's more out there. But I remember vividly seeing and hearing and doing these acts to younger kids or my homeboys or my peers or my true homies, Smitty. I don't see it no more. Because I don't think we have true homies anymore. I think you got a bunch of fucking acquaintances and yes men who want to be around the homies because they blew up. I don't think they have any motherfuckers that's going to say, hey, dog, you foul. What the fuck you doing? You're about to be fucking – who is actually checking their homies? See, we used to have homies check each other back in the day. I don't know about you, but we had homies.
Right,
like,
for sure.
Check your ass. Like, nah, motherfucker, you got checked. And then you could, homies would suck their teeth and sit in the corner and shit. But guess what? Nah, motherfucker, shut your motherfucking ass up. You know goddamn well you wrong. I just don't see homies checking each other no more. I don't see fucking OGs, like big homies checking each other no more. I just don't see it. I don't. I see like crabs in a bucket. I see everybody trying to leech on to the one person that makes it. And you wonder why we don't have a value for a dollar bill anymore, and we don't have a value for anyone's life, a little less our own life anymore. And I'm seeing it more and more and more and more out there. I'm just seeing it more and more and more. It's unbelievable. The value of life that we have out here, what you're seeing, and I get it. Social media is going to, amplify or magnify everything you see. Because I had some homies yesterday. I sent you guys a video. Compton does this thing with brothers and Mexicans every year, like during the 4th of July area, and they get brown and black together and they chill and they party in the street, in the hood. No killing, no shooting, no nothing. They're not going to report that shit, though. They're not going to They're only going to report the motherfucker doing donuts and hitting cats in Oakland. And look, I get all that shit. Like I said, we amplify it all the time. We don't show the good, we show the bad because that's what gets clicks. That's why they edited Netflix the way they did for me.
Come on now.
It is at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, too, this shit does happen as well. It's real, and we don't have anybody checking what we call fact checking or whatever you want to call it now. We don't see that shit no more. We got these cats allowing it instead of coaching it, and that's what I always say. So allow it or coach it or allow it. It is what it is. Let's move on, Smitty. Bronny, segue us into that.
Time for some basketball, man. Summer League has started for the NBA, so all the young rookies and undrafted folks are getting their opportunities to shine. Lakers played their first couple games over the weekend. Bronny James, man, 55th pick for the Lakers, played his first pro game, scoring 4 points, went 2 for 9, 2 assists in 21 minutes, showed a few flashes defensively. And as you can see, this step back move here, offensively as well. Overall, he struggled in his first game. But JB, man, I guess what are your thoughts on Bronny's first game? This kind of first look at Bronny overall.
I didn't watch it. If I watch a summer league game, I'm like Steve Kim. Don't even ask me because I don't watch it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get my take then. I mean, listen,
I didn't watch it, but I'll give you a take though. I'm not gonna be an idiot. I gave you the take is. This is my take because I did not watch it. I watched the highlights like you did. Or I don't know if you watched it, but I watched the highlights that you just showed, I meant.
Yeah.
ESPN highlighted this cat because of who he is. Let's just be real. They highlighted him, and they highlighted that one shot you just saw that was – but they don't they also – social media will show you the real shit. He got crossed over and almost broke his leg. He got crossed over and almost fell on his back. Listen, ESPN is going to showcase and highlight LeBron's son, and that's what's crazy part about it. So you're going to see all this, but the fact of the matter is he didn't even play game 2. You didn't even play game 2 already? You already missed yesterday's game because you had swelling in your knee already? Smitty, it just gives me. I'm just over the whole thing, Smitty. I'm tired of not. I'm tired
already.
Yeah, dog.
I'm over the whole thing already.
Well, because our segue will be. I don't know if it's our segue or not, but what the Lakers or as an organization. I'm not talking about this Bronny thing and all this, but the Lakers as an organization. This just makes me like. It just makes you more pissed off, dog. Like you're seeing this dude who really is not a draftable player. A starter over him at USC went undrafted who averaged 17 points a game at USC. He didn't even get drafted. This dude that averaged 4 got drafted. He got an $8 million contract. Everyone else is getting $500,000. This shit it's crazy.
We don't do that, JB.
It's just no. I'm not counting pockets. I'm comparing what the norm is to now what this guy gets. So that's not checking pockets. That's compare and contrast. It's called. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm over it already because the Lakers have failed as an organization. They have failed the fan base. They have failed the old Staples Center. They have failed Kobe Bryant, Jerry West, and Dr. Jerry Buss. They are failing the NBA because the Lakers not being relevant is a huge hit to the NBA. And I'm just going to be real. It's just like the Knicks, just like, certain programs in the NBA. It is what it is. I'm just telling you. DeMar DeRozan going to Sacramento, and then I got to watch Bronny James go 2 for 9 and then miss game 2 because he's already hurt or claims to be hurt. Come on, man. This shit is just getting fucking cringier and cringier. I just can't
So for you, it's not even about just Bronny, really. It's the whole scope of the offseason. JJ Redick being hired, not getting Buddy from UConn, drafting Ronnie, not getting DeMar, not getting any other big-time free agent. It's the whole scope. And from that standpoint, I'm with you on that. It's been like, as a Lakers fan, where we stand right now, I cannot look at our team and be like, we are better right now than we were last year.
They're the same team.
Right. And listen,
they're the same team with Bronny James, homie.
But to me, and to the point, we got Dalton Connect, which was a hell of a draft pick, though. We didn't think he was going to land, drop that far. So that was a good. Our first round pick was a really good pick. I don't want to just discredit him. No one's talking about him right now because all the attention's on Bronny. That was a good ass first round pick. But overall, though, man, like I was always coach. You never stay the same. You either get better, or you get worse. And to me, we got a little worse. There's no signs right now to show we got better. LeBron's a little older. You can't tell me he's going to just get better. You know, AD, I mean, he's getting older. I mean, he might stay. I don't see him getting too much better. He's kind of been where he's at, kind of reached his peak. So I just don't see where we've gotten too much better at. So I'm concerned on that standpoint. As far as Bronny, though, like, listen, people either love the pick or they hate the pick. So whatever side you're on, that's a side you're going to be on when it comes to rooting or going against them.
Let me pause you right there.
Damn, I was in. Go ahead and go.
Go.
All thing I'm gonna say is, if you love the decision, you're gonna praise his 4 points. You're gonna praise every single thing he does positive and make it seem bigger than what it is. But if you're on the opposite side, you're also gonna overblow how bad the first game was and act like we really care about summer league games. And I bet can't nobody in this chat right now off the top of their head tell me the stat line that, I don't know, Shaq had in his first summer league game or KG had his first summer league game or Tim Duncan or Kobe, like just off the top of the head. Just my point being is we've never cared about summer league. Let's keep it all the way 1,000. We've never cared. There's been summer league superstars who balled out and then didn't do shit in the actual league itself. So he did not look that good. I'm not giving him a pass, but at the same time, I'm not going to use this as like, oh, see, there it is. Bronny can't play. He's not going to be good in the league. Like, no, it's a summer league game, first one. Let's not overblow it. Go ahead, JB.
Well, let's be honest. The reason we like the pick, if anyone out there likes the pick, it's strictly because it's a feel-good story because his daddy gets to play with his son. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real 1,000. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it funky. That's the only reason y'all even fucking enjoy the pick, because it's that feel-good story. You ain't nobody in this world like the pick for the Lakers. If you're a true hooping fan, a LA Laker fan, or a NBA fan, nobody liked the pick. If you're one of those three people, nobody, not one human being on planet Earth liked the fucking pick because he could play. They liked it because it's a feel-good story. Not one person's critiquing his 4 points the other day and missing last night's game because he's a good player. They are only critiquing it because it's LeBron James' son. Let's just be real. Everybody who didn't like the pick is a Laker fan, a true LA fan, and a true historian of the game. That's who disliked the pick. That's the majority. So I just wanted to break up who liked it, who didn't like it. No one liked it. They only liked the story. They didn't like the pick. So let's just be honest. There's no fucking way you took that pick and liked it. Now, keep going on this thing. This, to me, is a bigger issue. It's a Laker issue. It's not the Bronny thing. It's not the draft pick of Keynan. It's not that they got Keynan. It's a gym. Like, they thought they got him at 17, and then it's like the Lakers, like, hit the lotto and they got everything they wanted and they're going to be a championship contender. Homie, you got a rookie in the draft that slipped a little bit and you think it's a great pick right now. You think it's a great pick. So you feel good. He struggled the other day too. Let's be real. He struggled too again in the grown man league with a bunch of his peers, by the way. They're not playing NBA veterans in the summer league. So you got your feet wet. You got to learn how to play. Wow. We can hear all that shit you want to hear.
Come on now.
But let's be real, though. I'll tell you right now, but I'll mortgage my house that Kynette's not the fucking answer either. He ain't going to get him over the fucking hump. I've been hearing these crazy things on social media. Kynette's going to be the guy. Shut the fuck up. He's not going to get the Lakers over the fucking hump. Okay? Number one. Number two, Smitty, there's a bigger problem here, Smitty.
What is it?
You just lost a Compton native, DeMar DeRozan, to Sacktown. Norteños. The Serreños lost the Norteños. What?
Drew League legend. Drew League legend.
All my Mexicans in the house. All my Mexicans. We don't lose Norteños to the Norteños. They'll tell you, Cisco, drop the knowledge in the fucking chat to all the homies. We don't lose to the Norteños. Those are farmers and agricultural fucks up there. Like what?
Ooh,
a Compton native said, I'm going to go to the hated ones who Shaq and Kobe dominated through the lob on Chris Webber late in the game, caught him. Robert Horry hits the top of the three to beat him. You went there? What? By the way, don't tell me about crime because Northern Cali right now is worse than here. Don't tell me about taxes because the last I checked, taxes are fucking exact same. It's the same state. It might be a little different in certain counties, but let's be real. You're getting hit on taxes and you're going to a town of Sacramento that is just, let's be real, not a very attractable city, okay? And you got more people to attract than the Lakers? LA Lakers? Smitty, we have a problem, Houston. I'm just telling you straight up. We have a fucking problem in LA, and his name is LeBron James. Her name is Jeannie Buss, and his name is Rob Pelinka. A bunch of fans who hired the biggest problem of them all in JJ Redick. Let's just keep it real. There's a reason why DeMar wanted to go play for Mike Brown, a seasoned veteran coach who actually he has faith in knowing what he's going to do in late game situations or what he's going to do in crunch time or how he's going to get DeMar DeRozan the ball around Sabonis and Fox. There's a reason why I didn't want to go play for you, JJ Redick, and my daddy calls games there, and my daddy's a legend there named Michael Thompson. I went to Dallas because I want to play for Jason Kidd, who's been there, done that. There's a reason why the Lakers are losing every single possibility in free agency. Please tell me who's available still. Who are the Lakers going to get, Smitty?
Nobody.
It's over. Are you telling me it's already done this year?
Nobody.
We got to wait for February for a trade?
Nobody.
Oh, my God.
JB, nobody.
I'm getting my
Who
Steve
is there
Kim on.
to pick up? Nobody. Who can the Lakers get? Nobody.
I'm getting my Steve Kim's on. I'm telling you right now. Steve Kim, I'm with you. I'm not watching this shit. No way.
I guarantee you watch at least half the season.
Hell no. I'm not watching this shit.
You watching game one, though. I know for a fact. You know what? Not game one. You're watching the first game that Bronny's actually active. I know that for a fact. Whatever that is, if that's game one, that's game five, that's game, whenever that is, you're gonna be watching it.
He won't be active. I don't think he'll be in the G League. I don't think he'll be. If he's playing, then the Lakers.
JB, think about it. What is the point of all this fuss, all this hoopla, if he's not gonna play with his dad? You gonna put him in the summer league the whole time? I mean, you gonna put him in the G League the whole time?
To play with his daddy. We already know what it is for.
No, I know, but I'm saying. If he's in the G League the whole entire season, he's not playing with his daddy. I mean, he's kind of on the team, but he's not like they want to see them on the court together. You know good and well. LeBron's good friend and head coach JJ Redick is going to find some game that doesn't matter, so to speak, and they're going to find someone's going to be like a little hurt. Our starting point guard or whatever is going to be a little hurt. He's going to mix a couple games. They're going to upgrade Bronny to the active roster for 10 days. And they're going to put Bronny on the court the second quarter. Everybody's going to cheer. Put him out there for 5 minutes with his pops. We know what's going to happen, JB. Like,
hey, off the top of the head, a buddy of mine texted me the other day, and I don't know nothing about it, but he's been working out, and he's been out. He's made a big name, I guess, on social media. I don't know who he is, Smitty. You may know. Some kid named Sketch. Have you heard of this streamer named Sketch?
Nope.
He's he's a Houston Texan fan because he's been out there with Tank Dell and CJ Stroud and I guess he's some streamer. His name is Sketch.
What are you doing? Like, what's up? What's going on with him?
He's everywhere. Like he's everywhere right now. He's around everywhere. He's like at the fucking white party with Michael Rubin and shit. Like he's a fucking nobody who's made out of thing. But my buddy sent me a picture and is like, you know, this motherfucker is another plant And I go, what do you mean another planet? He goes, and this is my whole point about it. I'm going to tell you why, but I'm going to just ask you a question. You know that one broad that made it huge out of nowhere?
The white girl, yeah. The one that you used to like, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Did Drake, and she did
with the weird personality, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know her name.
She was in Compton, walking around Compton for the video.
Yeah, she made it huge out of nowhere. She's a nobody that makes it huge out of nowhere. It's funny that this guy Sketch, Bobby, Josh, Bobby. She makes it out of nowhere. This guy Sketch makes it out of nowhere. There's other guys involved too. But do you know they're all tied into one guy?
Oh.
And now, Bobby Altoff. And then the Haktua girl made it out of nowhere recently. Do you know they're all tied to one common denominator? It's a question. Do you know that?
I don't. That was like the drum roll. That was like the build up for you to drop the bomb. I did not know that.
You
Who
know
is it, JB?
they're all tied to one person. And that person is Mr. Beast.
How?
All same agency. All the same agency.
Oh,
by the way, Michael Rubin is also in that same agency. And then so are most of those, I think it's 366 cats get invited every year to his wife.
Is it CAA, UTA? Who is it?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's some subsidiary agencies involved as well. They're all the same people, Smitty, all the same people. And it's ironic how these people blow up and how these people all out of nowhere blow up. I believe that your boy is also the same, Drewski or whatever. It's also involved. All the same. It's weird, right? Like, why are you all the same? Why are y'all blowing up at the same time? There's a reason behind it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, damn, it's crazy. It's crazy how
conspiracy. What you thinking, JB?
I'm not thinking anything. I'm just saying it's ironic.
I just think, but see, my brain just says, okay, if I'm an agency that's shown proof that I can manage a big time influencer the right way and help elevate their brand, if I'm another upcoming influencer, I'm going to see that. And when I'm trying to decide which company to sign with, I'm going to sign with the one that's shown a track record of success with other influencers. So that's where my brain goes. I think it just so happened to be that way. It sounds like your brain.
Why shouldn't we should be bigger then? Because I had a way bigger name than Bobby Altoff. Who the fuck is that? She's a nobody. How about this?
I don't know. Again, JB, we met late. We met late, so I don't know what your plan. I don't think you had a plan. You didn't know fucking Last Chance she was gonna be that big. Number one. Number two, after it happened, I don't know what your game plan was as far as continuing to build upon that brand. Now you sold a book, bestseller, bet. You got your whiskey. You were doing hustles, but you didn't do anything from you didn't want to be like an influencer. Like you don't want to be that now. That's not what you wanted to be.
No.
If you wanted to be that, I think you could have been blown up. If I'm being honest, I think you could have been did that.
People could have came at me. Yeah, but I'm not that guy to go do TikTok video or whatever that type.
Right.
So I don't see a guy. They all blow up from doing like these viral videos on, these weird videos.
Right.
They're not doing a show like us organically and making
right. But to your point, which makes me think, are we overthinking this shit? Let's have a real conversation right now on the show. Like, fuck out.
Yeah, but I can't fathom myself going out and doing some old weird shit like that. I just can't do it. Like,
I'm not saying do weird stuff, but for example, I put in the chat the other day.
I would never go to that white party with those fucks.
Yes, you would. Me and you would pull up, and we would we would make it like our shit though. It'd be like a whole nother. We'd be in there.
I'd go in all black. I'd be wearing black. Wearing black.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Then you won't get in there. That's what I'm telling you. I wouldn't go to that shit.
White. You have white over the top. Get in and then take it off.
I go to a very equivalent.
Party. I go to a really equivalent every August. Yeah,
you're welcome. So I go to something very similar to that every year. And
as a matter of fact, go ahead and make that call so we can.
It's not that cult ass all white party weird shit you see.
Hey, speaking of that, go ahead and make that call because it's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I want to go for sure. So go ahead and make the call.
I'm deciding on who I'm taking right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, that white party shit is weird ass vibe, homie. It's a weird vibe, dog. I just don't want to. I'm not that guy to Johnny Sned. I get invited to bigger parties. Dumb fuck. Here's the thing, because you don't see me there, I don't mean I ain't getting invited, dumb fuck. But let me be honest, Smitty, that's a weird vibe, homie. Like, I'm not going there. I'm not the guy to fit in. I'm not the fit-in type of motherfucker. I don't want to. I'm the one that wants to be on the outside where you motherfuckers come over to me. Like Johnny Sned.
Right.
Bitch boy. You bitch ass come to me.
Side note,
you get on your knees, motherfucker. I don't bend over and take it. You do.
Side note, before I forget. Back to the whole TikTok shit. I'm not saying JB should do weird shit. Be who you are. But there are things that you could be doing. I threw this idea the other day. Me and Bailey, we love it. The newest NCAA is coming out in a week. Everybody's been talking about it. I've been seeing so many videos of your last chance shoot videos of people saying like, me building my team in NCAA 25, trying to motivate them. And it's like you yelling at, some of your players on last chance shoot. Like, I can see you being like not a real gamer, but you fucking doing videos of you on the game, JB, playing the game, the college game that you coach in real life, but playing it on the actual sticks. I can see that becoming your thing. That's just one example. My point being is we may not be thinking about this thing the right way, JB. You ain't got to go be Bobby Altoff or fucking who you say, Skeeter, cousin Skeeter.
You're not going to be, though, Smitty. That's my point. This is a plan. This is a scam. This is what it is. This is the agency type of in with the good fellas type of shit. Circle. They can control Bobby Altoff. They can control. Why do you think her husband left her at? They can control Mr. Beast. They can control this sketch guy or whatever is weird at. So my boy hit me up and was like, hey, this sketch guy who's making it big on the streaming world, he was like this gay kid on TikTok who was a mole or a plant. And then they changed him up, put him in a Texans jersey, and started putting him around pro athletes and shit. And now everyone forgot what he really was and how he really blew up. And if you haven't noticed, Mr. Beast, his number one crimey, his right-hand man who he started this YouTube shit up with, is now a made-up human and is a huge part of that LGBTQ, all that shit going on. So, like, why is this all tied in? It's weird, homie. Like, that's all I'm saying.
So what you telling me is, you tell me this agency, they got together in like a meeting. They all had on white hoods and fucking sticks with fire. It was a dark fucking room. And they said, next up in the year of 2024, our next superstar talent will be Bobby Altoff. Bobby, come to the middle. And they put fucking human blood. They put baby blood on her head, on her face.
That's the kid, Smitty.
I saw this dude. I didn't know what his name was.
Look, he was that kid before, homie. Look, he was that dude. Now he's this guy.
It's like the same dude.
Look at that motherfucker, homie. I'm saying, Smitty. I'm just saying, homie. I'm just saying. Some weird shit out there, homie. Drink that cup. Let's move on to some sports. We started the show off with a banger. I just wanted to touch on something. We real show. I just want to touch on it.
JB always say that. We're a real show. Anytime we talk about some crazy, we're a real show. That's always like the reason why we talking about some shit. It was a real show. Oh man, I don't know, JB. We're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing our 3-hour show though. We're gonna keep
We'll see if Shaun King's supposed to be joining us here in a minute. We'll see what's up. Yeah, I don't do the white party shit. I'm not trying to be in the in crowd. The in crowd that I go to, that I took you to last year, is an in crowd that I've known my whole life. Like the two people that are the biggest people that do that thing, I've known since I was a little kid. So they've been in this business, in the football, basketball, sports world since I was a little kid. So I've known them my whole life. There's the only reason I'm going. I didn't just get to know them and just showed up. I know them. I knew a lot of people there. Like Merciless is a guy I grew up with. Merciless is there every year. It's not like I did not know Marcel. See, that's the thing. There's a huge difference. And speaking of difference, one of the legendary Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tulane Green Wave legend, national champ, the heart of Louisiana. What do they say? Louisiana?
You tell me. You've been around there. I ain't been there.
Louisiana? Our main man, Shaun King. Welcome, my man.
Woody.
How you say Louisiana? How you say Louis? I'm going to say Louisiana like a white dude. Louisiana, and then you say it right.
Louisiana. You know, they're Cajun down there. So, like, Louisiana is like a country within the United States of America. It is so unique, and the culture is definitive only to the state of Louisiana. When you get in them bayous and, you get them, they got an accent and a twang. The food is completely different. Like, where else can you get, like, jambalaya, etouffee, boudin? Like, everything about that state is unique to that state. Beautiful place, wonderful people.
Hey, Shaun, we're gonna start the show off with a banger because I did a little topic about Malik Neighbors in the titty bar throwing some dollars and some $100 and whatever. And I also did a thing on Xavier Worthy when he did it with his girl on TikTok. And we've been seeing this for a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. There is a kid at the University of Tulsa, of all places, a place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I love Tulsa, Oklahoma, by the way. Shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. But they're a small school, to be honest, on the scale of things. I guess you could equate it to Tulane, right? They're in that same division. They're in that same league. They were conference. Tulsa has great talent, by the way. Tulsa has a fucking legitimate high school talent there, from Booker T to Owasso to
Josh Jacobs.
Broken Arrow. Yeah, there's a lot of guys I recruited out of that area that are big time. But here's the thing, Shaun. I want to correlate this with Smitty because we just had a whole discussion about Malik Neighbors, Xavier Worthy, people doing this on an all-time high. And then we had the unfortunate mishaps of the kid that lost his life this weekend. And then nobody did a whole thing. Yeah, and then nobody did a video about him, and he become viral because he wants the likes and the clicks about him, and he became viral. This guy right here, whoever the fuck, he came after me as well. So I want to correlate this particular video with you, though, and tell you and get your take on this whole thing and tie it all together in a big old pretty bow. A Tulsa kid, a white boy, I want to make sure I'm throwing that out there. I'm going to throw that out there, me, of all people. I want to make sure I put this in the perspective that I'm going to go with it. Can we show the video of a kid from Tulsa showing off as well? Take a look at this.
One-on-one pull up with tens.
Shane Walker, we're at the Baja Mall, Bahamas. Big at the casino. You're not how we do it in Texas. Just want to let y'all know that I'll be committing to.
So he had San Diego State on there. So this is the new thing apparently, Shaun. And I'm just being honest. It's sickening to watch for me because I'm just like, dog, we have no investment in the game anymore that's actually giving these cats this opportunity to earn this money and this other shit, this other opportunities. There's no more humility in this game. There's no more go out, earn it, win, and then go get the generational wealth, and then I'll come out and I'll have the titty bar at my house. We've all been to the titty bar. Smitty and I already broke it down. We've all done that. We get it. We might have not been throwing out that much money, that Malik Neighbors first round money, but we were throwing away some dollars here and there.
Couple
but
hundred.
We used to have a circle, Shaun. My point is we had a circle. We had OGs or we had homies that were like, man, they would check us. I don't see that no more. I don't see the checking anymore of what we used to see. I don't see our circle anymore being our circle. I think our circle now is a bunch of yes men who just want to be a part of a TikTok video. I just think the game has changed. But when we have kids like this doing it, Shaun, it's because we have pros doing it, right? Like everyone looks up to somebody. This kid right here, you can't tell me he didn't see even a young Xavier Worthy who just got drafted a year ahead of this. You can't tell me it's not correlated. I mean, shit travels downhill, Shaun. Shit rolls downhill. I'm just trying to correlate all this together and get your guys' take on this because everyone's doing it. White, black, yellow, short, fat, skinny, tall. They're all doing it. It doesn't matter. Put a bow on this, Shaun, and give me your take on this whole thing in totality.
Well, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. It's the one thing I always do. Whenever, I look at these situations. The thing is, and let's just start with Malik Neighbors. He got a 4-year, $29 million deal, 18 guaranteed. If it's a once-a-year occasion, meaning your birthday or your best homie's birthday, and you say, okay, I got us tonight, whatever, we're going to go throw up $10K or spend $10K, okay, I get it. The thing is, you can't let that behavior become addictive, meaning that every time we want entertainment or fun, it's a big expense attached to it. Like, that's the one thing as a pro athlete. You got to find something that gives you relief, something that you're passionate about outside of football, but also something that don't require you to spend a bunch of money. That's my message into young athletes. To the kid that signed, if that was my son, here's why I would tell him not to do it. It makes you a target. Like, it makes you a target. There are people that live in Tulsa, Oklahoma that are not good people. Bunch of great people live in Tulsa, but there's some people that are not great people. And you're basically giving them a microscope into, first of all, that you are affluent and you have cash and that you carry it on you. So whenever you get in your dorm, wherever you decide to live in Tulsa, there could potentially be somebody on social media that has targeted you that's going to try and rob you of what you've earned. So that would be my reasoning for not doing it like that. Thirdly, what kind of collective Tulsa got?
Right. I'm like, yeah.
He not only got
Shaun.
a bag and cash, he got like 6 or 7 watches.
Cigars, glasses,
Hey, Shaun.
chains.
Hey, Shaun, I'm going to be honest. Like, to me, why do you have to show that? Number one. Number two, I know the head coach there very well. And I'm just telling you, he's a ball coach. Legitimate. Like, was the head coach at Indiana, did a pretty damn good job there. He's known for being one of the most brilliant offensive minds in all of football, who was at Oklahoma during the heavy, Stoops era. And then he went to Ohio State and called the offense there for Ryan Day when Urban left. Kevin Wilson, great fucking offensive line guy, great play caller, asshole to boot, like good dude.
He was the IU head coach thing back in the days.
He was the head coach in Indiana. Yeah, that's what I said. I started with. You didn't listen. You don't hear
My
me.
fault. I wasn't listening. I was reading something.
So I used to go down to Indiana all the time and visit him. And
I used to get letters from Kevin Wilson. That's why I came to my head when you said my fault.
You're that young? God damn, I was getting a job with him at that time.
Yeah,
so here's the thing.
high school was 2012. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah. Damn, I was at the clinic with him in fucking 09. All right, so Shaun, here's the thing. Like, Kevin Wilson, Bailey, I don't know if you can find it for us real quick, but Kevin Wilson basically came out and did a video about NIL and was talking about what we do here at Tulsa and what we tell recruits here at Tulsa, because we are Tulsa. We're not fucking Texas. And I'm very, very interested to see how this goes over, because Smitty and Shaun, Kevin Wilson's not that guy, Shaun, as you know. He don't play that game, and he's not the guy to put his business out there like that. He doesn't want that being seen out there. And if that is the case, and you got 10 watches from somebody, and you got that bag, like you say, Tulsa's a very small town that's mostly 75% of it's not a great area. Take a listen to Kevin Wilson, what he said a couple months ago about recruiting.
That's a great text message right here. Typical in first questions is, what do you get? I go, you'll get nothing and like it. That's what they said, and that's what they told Spalding, right? From a guy saying, hey, coach, just asking, about money. I'm not a money-hungry person, don't need a ton of money, but this is a transfer. I've been getting about 6 to 7K a month. I got 3 dogs and a girlfriend, so what do you think I'll get there? And I said, the first thing you need to do is drop the dogs, and I'm not sure about the girl. I go, we'll explain our incentive-based plan that we use is based on academic success, not allocating any NIL funds. We're starting that now. We'll have a clear direction if and when we get anything. But I have not and will not promise anything until I know for sure what I got. I'll discuss with you on a visit how we do our academic-based plan. And that's how we recruited.
Drop the dog and maybe the girl. Like, that's Kevin Wilson, though. And now you see that video, Shaun, and it makes me like, this ain't going to be a good marriage, because Kevin don't work that way.
Well, first of all, JB, we got to call a spade a spade. And I'm a fan of Kevin Wilson, but obviously there was some falsifying of information in that press conference, or there's been a change of heart. Because obviously Buddy's not even at Tulsa yet, so he couldn't have any kind of academic success. And he already got a bag with 12 watches, chains. So obviously, and see, JB, here's the problem. And I didn't realize this at first. And maybe a lot of people in the chat, and shout out everybody in the chat, man. Your chat be active. Like, you got to get in the chat. The chat be active. The head coach does not control the NIL for the school.
Collective,
So,
yeah.
Right. So no matter what Kevin Wilson says about how they do it internally, if a booster decides that I want Smitty, he can now go to Smitty and work out a separate deal that Kevin Wilson has no say-so over at all.
Yeah.
I gotta stop you guys though. I think see this is the perfect example of people not listening and just hearing and reading a text. You looked at him and saw him reading his phone, and y'all are now saying he's lying.
No,
Kevin
I
Wilson
said
didn't tell one, not you. I'm just saying Kevin Wilson didn't say one lie to Latrell. Kevin Wilson was telling you what he does for his players that are going to come on a visit. And academics is one. I'm going to tell you how we break down academics on a visit. Then we will discuss how our NIL works. That's exactly what the man just said. Now, y'all are saying he's a hypocrite lying through his teeth. He didn't fucking lie. He didn't say nothing. He said this is what we do on a visit with a kid. Now, that kid obviously came on a visit, and a collective took him in, and a collective did something to get the kid. So I don't even know the kid is any good. Shaun, I don't know who the kid is. I don't know nothing. But apparently, now
the point that we need to make clear is that's one of the issues with NIL. It does not have to get the approval or okay of the head coach.
Right.
Latrell don't understand this shit. It catches me talking, dog.
Well,
Latrell,
sometimes they might not know,
us, man.
JB.
Huh?
So they actually might not know that. I didn't know that initially either. I
guess they don't know it. Yeah.
Would have to sign off on it. I mean, how in the hell can my boosters recruit a kid? Then I might even want the kid. I might just be doing it to appease the high school coaches in the state. I might not actually want the kid because I know too much about him. And I'm like, this thing get real gray now in recruiting.
Hey, John, this is why Saban is like, nah, I'm out. Because if you're telling me I'm not controlling the narrative on who's coming into my program, my blood life, this is the problem. We're getting guys. This is what's happening, Smitty. And I've talked to Sark and all these guys. This is what's going on. The boosters and the collectives get together in a sidebar conversation, and they say, "Here, I'm gonna explain to you, Latrell, so you're hip and you understand this is really what's going on now, so you're not saying dumb shit out there to your players." So here's what's going on. The boosters and the collectives get together in a sidebar conversation and say, LSU, Alabama, and Oklahoma's offered Johnny. We have to offer Johnny. Sark is on a recruiting visit in South Carolina. He's not going to care anyway. We're going to drop this bag. We'll shoot Sark a text and say, Sark, we offered Johnny because LSU, Alabama, and Oklahoma has also done so. This is the dollar amount they offered him. We're going to one-up them, and we're going to throw this bag at him just so you know. Now, does Sark say yay or nay as far as signing the kid? Yeah, he's going to have that. If he's a guy like Saban and has full autonomy. Seems like Sark has full autonomy in Texas. But there are places out there that are bringing a kid in on a visit, and this is the bag, and Sark has to take him in on a visit and say, all right. And now Sark's in his office watching films, Shaun. Like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Like, that's what's happening now. I'm telling you, they got
and the boosters go by the national rankings. Rivals on 3. Okay, this kid has a start. I'm telling you, I've been in these meetings at the big time college football level. Sometimes you have to act like you're recruiting certain kids just because of politics. This kid comes from a high school in my area or a prominent high school in the state, but in the staff meeting, you might say, listen, I don't care what the stars say, this other kid is better. Now, we got to make it look like we recruiting Buddy so we can go back in that school, but we ultimately want this other kid instead. And I think when you have powerful boosters, that's kind of why they get in the way sometimes. But you still need them too, because you might need, hey, listen, we can get Smitty if you can come up with an extra 50. you might need him at some point. But it's why it's such a gray area when it comes to how the recruiting is run these days.
Yeah. Shaun, Smitty and I started the show off with a banger, and I started the show off, and I want to get your take on this real quick. Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward having words, whether I just called it regular throwing. We used to call it throwing, Shaun. You and I would just call it throwing out in the park with wideouts and shit. And have you seen this? Him calling out Shedeur apparently and all this?
I saw it.
What's your take on this real quick before Smitty has a question for you? What's your take on this? And to me, it's a common denominator. Shaun King's the quarterback coach of a lot of these guys. They get together in the park out in Miami or wherever, and they get together, and they're all boys anyway through either Elite 11s or 7-on-7s or camps. They all know each other now through social media. And Cam Ward's known to talk shit anyway. My buddy coached him and said this, and he just talks shit. I love it. He's like, hey, JB's like you were, talking shit to wideout, DBs, work ethic, all that. To me, it's just it's just what we did and what we do. I don't take it really bigger than that, but I do take it this way. You start to fuck with the bear, which is Shedeur Sanders in the social media world. Cam Ward, you better shit or get off the pot, because all eyes are on you too now, because you're at Miami. So go ahead, Shaun, on that deal.
You could do a whole show on this clip.
Ooh.
It's so many different ways to watch it. Let me start with the actual friendship that Cam and Shedeur have. They are actually friends. Like two kids, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cam is from Texas as well. They've known each other for a while. Cam went to Washington State. Shedeur ended up in Colorado. They competed against each other last year. The competitive baseline that real friendships operate on is I'm better than you, and I'm going to prove it. That's the way this starts. Cam thinks he's the Heisman winner this year. Shedeur thinks he's the Heisman winner. Cam thinks he's going to be the number one pick. Shedeur thinks he's going to be the number one pick. But they're friends. So there's not animosity there. It's just competition.
Right.
Secondly, why in the hell is this being filmed? There's a whole nother hour worth of just what is well-off media doing filming this. Thirdly, obviously Shedeur Sanders ain't really putting that work in. And it's one of the things that I've always wondered. So much of his off-season work is off the campus of Colorado. It's always, we in Miami, we going on the yacht tonight, so like we on the beach. We're going to film a little clip of us doing something. Like we in Atlanta, we going here, we got a concert tonight, so we had a local product. All of it saying, hey, he might be getting it in, and I've never judged him, but in the back of my mind, I know what that grind looks like.
Right.
And for Cam to call him out, it's almost like Cam telling him, like, hey, man, look, that was BS today. I've seen you work hard. That wasn't you really, really getting it. Yeah. And if you listen to Shedeur's response, he kind of admits, okay, I'm coming back tomorrow. We're going to see what you're talking about. Like, so it's nothing in between those two. It's just a lot of different dynamics about why this is a fascinating 25 seconds of film that I wish we never saw.
I agree. It's that Deion Sanders Jr.'s film. I think that's his media company. Yeah, I think, yeah, well-off. Yeah, and here's the thing, Shaun.
I showed him love.
I showed him love.
And Shaun, my boy coached him. Remember, Cam Ward started at Incarnate Word in Texas.
Right.
A small.
You know what I thought? You know what I thought about Cam Ward? Out of all the kids in the country, he's probably one of the ones that I would love to be able to coach.
Because of that transition from Incarnate Word to Wazoo, yeah.
He's so I remember being so frustrated last year when Washington State played USC. And just his body language, and I could tell, like, he's still not mentally mature when it comes to being on an emotional roller coaster during a game. Like, a couple of things went bad early, and he got in his feelings, and, you know, but he's so talented. I would love to have a chance to coach a kid like that and really turn him into like a killer. You know, where he got bulletproof emotions, where nothing gets to him good or bad, where he stays locked in on the task at hand. Like, if it's one thing about him, that's why I feel like he's still immature. His emotions go up and down. And some of that might be like JB said, because he's so used to being a trash talker. You think, well, if you talk trash, you got to be emotional. Because you're going to meet some cats that are going to come back at you. Your emotions going to have to go up. You know, you're gonna meet some cats that just take it. You know, you can kind of he doesn't have bulletproof emotions yet in between the first whistle and the last whistle. Man, I would love to coach Cam.
Nah, for sure, man. Another question before we move on that JB asked me earlier today was, who will win more games this year? Will it be Colorado or the U? In your opinion? I chose Miami. I'm just looking at I think they have a very favorable schedule outside of week 3. And I just think that it's kind of like JB always says, shit or get off the pot. And I think for them, Steve Kim talks about it, if they win less than double-digit games this year, kind of a disappointment for everything they put together there at the U, in my opinion, where Colorado, if they win 7 or 8 games, in my view, I think that's a pretty damn good second year, pretty good season. But what's your take, though, Shaun? Who do you think will win more games this year?
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Colorado's early schedule is a lot tougher. You know, they've got to be on their game. Hell, the first... I mean, I don't think they've got a gimme game on their schedule. I mean, North Dakota State is one of the best FCS schools in the world. Nebraska, people are talking about them making the college football playoff. You saw how Jay Norvell got his squad, Colorado State, up for the Colorado game. Now that game is at Colorado State. Baylor's not going to be easy. UCF's going to be a lot better. Kansas State, Arizona, Cincy, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. Like, I'm not saying that they can't beat all of those teams. I'm just saying doesn't really look like a whole lot of gimme games on their schedule. And when you go to Miami, Florida's not Florida this year. Now, first game of the season, kids make mistakes. You know, things can happen. But Florida's not the Florida we're accustomed to. They're going to obliterate FAMU. They play some school that likes to play during the week in week 3, Ball State.
That's going to be a tough one.
Right. Now, at USF could be tricky because USF will be better. And then Virginia Tech's good. I don't know if you guys know that quarterback and receiver Virginia Tech got. They can play. At Cal, just the travel alone. Miami is the most southern part of Florida. You got to go all the way out, University of California. How do your kids handle that? 3-hour time difference. That game going to feel like it's an early, Louisville's going to be good. Florida State's going to be good. You know, I don't know what Duke kept. I know the quarterback left. Georgia Tech was playing a lot better last year. Almost, they did beat Miami. Wasn't that the game where Miami didn't kneel the ball?
Oh, that bad decision, late game, yep.
Yeah. So I would say Miami just on schedule difficulty because I think Colorado's schedule's tough.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, man. But here soon, I think JB said we're 7 weeks away from actually getting to the nitty gritty and the season starting. So here soon.
Hey, Shaun, real quick, because Smitty's leaving in about 15 minutes after you get off, Shaun, and I got to ask you, some news happened over the weekend that a kid I know, he played for Matt Rule and Nebraska. He played at Temple for Matt Rule, and then Matt hired him, and he's been coaching with him for the last 10, 11, 12 years. He just got up and bounced. He got up and bounced out of Nebraska Friday for personal reasons. And I'm hearing another coach is leaving as well. Why do you leave this time of the year? Just giving some – we don't need to break it down, Bailey, but I just want to – because we have a list for Shaun next, a college football Florida list for you after this. But why would you leave this late in the game? And I know we're going to say personal reasons because that'll be like
the
discussion topic. Yeah, the easy answer on getting out without asking too many questions. But why would you leave this late in the game, July? We're in camp, Shaun. Everything's pretty much in. Defensive scheme. He's a DB coach, recruiting coordinator. He's Matt's right-hand man. From everything I know, he is his right hand. Why do you leave at this point, other than real personal reasons, but just to say personal reasons, why would you leave right now? Unless, I don't know. Why would you? I couldn't fathom leaving in July in a program.
Was it Evan Cooper?
Yeah.
Wow. So
exactly. That's exactly why I brought it up. Yeah.
I got to know Evan when I did the Bill Walsh internship with the Panthers. Matt Rule and all them were there. Good dude. Young coach. He was, I think,
37, coaching, I think.
Yeah, just coaching corners at the time. I actually just spoke to Evan. Man, it had to be maybe May. They had a kid in the portal that one of my buddies from Pittsburgh was asking about. And so I called Evan about the kid, and man, he said he loved Nebraska. Say the family loved it. So I don't know. Maybe somebody in his family's sick, and he's got to go take care of them. You know, sometimes in these situations, something happened, and the school and the assistant decide if you resign and don't push the pay thing, then we won't make it public. Like who knows? That's surprising. Evan is Matt, so that's one of his boys.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. And then now Nebraska's already right on it, though. Apparently going to hire John Butler. Good job, Bailey, finding this already. He's going to hire him. So that's crazy that he would leave the NFL for this right now. Usually they're going the other way. They're going from college to the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if personal reasons all of a sudden and coach left and goes to the league.
Because he might be going to the NFL. I'm not sure, but I'll say this for those in the chat: when something of this magnitude happens and the replacement's already been signed, that means this been going on for a while. This isn't something.
And I was about to say the same shit. Yeah, this ain't personal reasons. Yeah, this is something going on here.
This is something they don't work through, figure out the best way for everybody to save some face, and they announced the hire so that you can get away from the resignation.
Mm-hmm. Distraction. So that definitely makes sense there.
Smitty boy in the chat, Darius, dropping some shit out here. Darius played Smitty. He talking about
Darius. Now, D-Con, are you saying that, or is that like just your assumption? Like, let me know in the chat real quick, because that's a real deal right there.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, that's not breaking the law. Like,
right.
That's not something
right
that's gonna make, you know what I'm saying? It's immoral.
The only hey Shaun, you've been around some nasty shit, I'm sure, as well as I have. The only way that happens is if the assailant, or not assailant, that's a bad word. The
participant.
The participant was like
another coach's girl. That's the only way that gets sour, and you got to go. So.
Hey, I ain't gonna put no speculation out there. I didn't even know he resigned. So
nah, me either. That's why I asked Dare. I said, like, you know that for something or what? Because I ain't heard none of that. So
I'm sticking with somebody sick in the family, so he got to do his family duties.
And I'm sticking with it's something personal. I ain't even gonna put that in the atmosphere. I don't know what it is. He just got some shit going on. Grown ass man got to leave. Moving on, man. For you leave, Shaun.
EC. I text JB too.
Okay,
perfect.
We got the college football Florida quarterback list, man. Bring that up, man. Best quarterback in Florida right now, Shaun. Who you got? We got DJ on here. I can never say his last name properly. I apologize. KJ Jefferson, Graham Mertz, and Cam Ward. Are there some other people that we're not thinking about at other schools? Who would you say in college football is the best quarterback in Florida right now?
Here's what's interesting. I mean, it got to be what's a normal career if you start 48? So you 50. It got to be over 200 starts on the graphic. I mean, because
but not one of them are in the state of Florida.
Right. These guys played a lot of football, man. Graham Mertz was at Florida last year.
Yeah, he was.
And I will say, out of all the things that Napier didn't do good, he got Graham Mertz to play closer to the kid that came out of high school, highly rated, that went to Wisconsin.
I'm going to tell you right now, Shaun.
Anything we saw at Wisconsin.
I recruited him. I didn't recruit him, but I recruited him. He was from, 45 minutes, an hour away from Independence, Kansas. And I thought he was fucking horrible.
Well, he was highly rated.
I wouldn't recruit him. He wasn't going to start over any of my kids at Indy. Yeah. And then I'm like, he's a what recruit? He's going to what? Wisconsin.
He was big time out of high school.
Shaun, I got to go see him in high school, and I'm like, hell, that big old stiff. I'm like, this motherfucker can't play. And he goes to Wisconsin, and that's who I thought he was. He was fucking horrible. And then he goes to Florida, around better talent, warmer weather, but it shouldn't have affected him. Shaun, he's from Kansas City. It shouldn't have affected him in Wisconsin. But then I'm hearing that's what affected him. What? You're from Kansas City. It snows. And then you're in Florida now. And I'm like, I still don't see it, Shaun. I still don't see the grammar.
I didn't see it either. That's why I gave Billy Napier credit. I mean, he got him to play at a pretty decent level. If I had to rank these from worst to first, DJ is number 4. He's another kid. I think he was the number 1 player coming out of high school. He went to Clemson, and he never lived up to it. I would say Graham Mertz, I would put kind of 2C, 2B. Make me another one, please. KJ Jefferson was with him just because I think they're limited. Like, I don't see a lot of upside. I think we've seen their best football. Then I'll put Cam number 1. I do think if Cam can get a little more bulletproof emotionally, he has the talent to win the Heisman and be the number 1 pick in the draft. Like, there are times at Washington State where he looked like it. That's why, he had initially midseason declared he was going to leave and go to the draft.
Yeah.
And then I think when he got because he didn't play well the last quarter of the season, when he got his draft grade back, he thought better of it, and Miami offered a bag. So let's go play. I think Cam has the most potential, but they're all experienced, man. You're getting a veteran and shit. Well, I wonder, is anybody on this list under 23?
I doubt it. Hey, TPB, he's from Blue Valley North. So, yes, he's from right there in Kansas City. So, just because you haven't heard from him doesn't mean he didn't fucking play there, motherfucker.
He was just asking, JB.
Anyway.
JB goes at the chat sometimes when they're not even coming at him.
He's literally
saying, JB, he's from KC. I didn't know that. Like, I never heard of him. Like, he's not coming at you.
I don't care. Smitty, I don't care. That's the thing. He's from KC. I've never heard of him. I don't give a fuck. He's from KC. It doesn't matter that you didn't hear from him. So that's what I'm saying. He's from there, though. And guess what? He's actually fucking from there. He's from there. By the way, just throwing it out there. I recruited him.
Hey, he ain't never heard of him, though, so I don't know.
Nobody. Hey, so, Shaun, real quick, we got about 15 minutes with Smitty, 13 minutes, because Smitty always cuts short changes me. I got to ask you about this whole – we've already talked about Malik Neighbors. We talked about Xavier Ward. We talked about the white kid called Tulsa. We talked about Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward's little back and forth, competitive nature deal. I want to talk to you about the young man losing his life. This guy made a video. We're not going to talk about the guy anymore, this nobody. But we're seeing this a lot more often, Shaun, unfortunately. And I'm always the guy on the hill that says, you know what, man, I hate to see these kids, but we're seeing these Jalen Carters and these other guys in college getting these cars that you and I would only dream about getting in college. You know, these big time Maybachs and Lambos and Chargers and Red Lines and all these different things. Do you have any particular take on this inexperienced? I'm going to use the word inexperienced behind the wheel. Do you have a take on any of this stuff that we're seeing more and more unfortunate mishaps behind the wheel, from the Henry Ruggses of the world to the Jalen Carters to the kid at Alabama? We just keep seeing shit, and I'm tired of seeing it. It's a shitty deal, but we're continuing to see this at an all-time cliff.
Well, first of all, condolences and prayers to the family. I mean, having kids of my own, I can't imagine a worse phone call that a parent can get is that their child is no longer here. And I thought Kyrie had a chance, and you hear all the reports from the Vikings camp. Like, coming into the draft, he was one of the kids that I thought had a chance to play as a rookie. He has a great story. You'll appreciate this, JB. He didn't qualify coming out of high school. So he took some time off, but he didn't give up, ended up going to Fort Scott, a JUCO. Then he went to Alabama. Then he transferred to Oregon with Dan Lannon and had his best year, ended up being drafted, I think, in the 4th round. I don't know a lot of details about the accident. All I saw was the headline. So I can't really talk to that part. But, man, I feel bad for the family because it's a kid that could have gave up, that could have went a different direction, that kind of just kept scratching and clawing. He believed in himself when others probably didn't. And, got himself the way he always wanted to be. So
I think the other kid played at Penn State or something, right?
I heard it was 3 people in the car, but that's the only other thing.
I heard it was a female driving, and then I heard it.
From what I read too, Shaun, just for clarity too, because like I know JB's connect. He's talking about the bigger picture of all the stuff we've seen, right? Just to be careful, because I don't want to connect the dots of like the Henry Ruggs to this, and because this is a situation from what I've read from what's out there currently is that another car hit their car and then caused the accident. It doesn't sound like this is a situation where their car, person driving their car, was like out here drinking and speeding. That's not what it sounds like right now from a storyline. It's like they got hit and that's what caused the accident from someone else's mistake, and which might have involved some liquor on that end. So I just want some clarity on that. But yeah, I'm with you, Shaun. Like it's like, man, you just feel for the parents and the family and friends. And anytime somebody passes away, it's sad, especially someone who's young, though, man, and had a chance. You know what I'm saying? You work so hard to get to this point, you know, lifelong dream, and for it to end just like that. This makes you really just sit back and appreciate life, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more, because we wake up every day, and I think after what, you know, just in your mind, you just kind of think, you kind of assume you're going to wake up, right? You know, as you probably should. I'm not saying you should have a mindset of I'm going to die today. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, though, I think we should just appreciate each day more, though, and not take it for granted, because this shit can just end like this, that quick. Kyrie had no idea that was going to be his last day. He had no idea. He woke up normal day like we all woke up.
I agree with both of you. I agree with that, and I'm on that whole tip on this instance. But I also got to start saying we got to start fucking either teaching better or understanding that there's consequences to every action, and we got to understand how to experience our youngsters in real life situations. And I think until we start to address that, we're going to keep doing these T's and fucking P's tweets. Like, I think we got to start addressing the elephant in the room and start to say, hey, where is your circle? Where is the big homie? Where is the don't do it? Now, listen, accidents happen and shit happens, and you have no control over it. We don't know this scenario, but we do see a lot of this type of shit happening where we could avoid it. And I'm not saying this was avoidable, but I'm saying we're seeing a bigger picture issue, in my opinion, with the youth, with our youngsters. Look, it's a lot of shit out there. I'm not saying this is reckless abandonment. We don't know what happened here. I'm not going to allege or judge, but we do see a lot of reckless shit now. That's why I always on these rants about we don't have a value for a dollar anymore. We don't have a value for a life anymore, not even our own lives. So I'm seeing it, dog. I'm hearing coaches talk to me all the time about it. Like, JB, these kids have no gut instincts anymore like you and I had growing up. We had that, you know, we had 4 eyes growing up we had 4 eyes and shit. Like, these kids are oblivious, homie. Like, if you really watch these kids move, they're oblivious to what's going on. They're used to you filming everything and not helping. Like, let's be real. They're filming the fight. They're filming the old lady get jumped. They're not fucking helping. And that's what these kids are raised on. And I'm just telling you, we're oblivious right now, dog. And I think we got to fucking start to address the issue, too. Or we're just going to keep saying T's and P's. I'd rather be proactive than reactive. I want to say, hey, man, you fucking got lucky, motherfucker. You should have never been in that motherfucker. But instead, we're doing T's and P's, reactive tweets instead of proactive, and get our ass out there and start talking to these youngsters. And where are the parents? Where the fucking parents at? Where are your folks at? Where are the people that just want your money compared to the people that want to see you really living and winning? I don't see that no more. I think our fucking circles have become a bunch of yes men do boys instead of fucking no, motherfucker, don't do that shit. I just think that's the problem right now. That's just my rant.
Yeah, no, bigger picture wise, I'm with you. Bigger picture wise, I'm with you for sure. But yeah. Everybody locked in. Everybody got
no.
Shaun's like, hey, that's what
I'm laughing at Shaun's tech. Nah, Shaun, hell no, he like you. I want to ask you something real quick. I got a list, Shaun, for you because you recruited. And I've been talking shit to Smitty, just fucking with Smitty, but there's this list out here. The 25 most dominant programs in the last 20 years. Shaun, can you please let our man know that when it comes to recruiting and talent, we love Warren Central in Indianapolis, but they're not on this big boy list, Shaun. Can you please just break it down to this man and just tell him that we love Warren Central. We love recruiting a couple guys, but these schools right here can beat some colleges, Smitty.
No, they can't.
Stop.
No, they can't.
So just for anybody just glancing at this is the top 25 most dominant California.
This is just California. Yeah,
right, this is just the state of California. Because I was like, no Bishop Gorman, no IMG. I was like, okay.
Right.
The one thing I would say, having lived in Indianapolis, I played for the Colts for half of the 06 year. Warren Central's a public school.
Yeah.
The majority of these schools, Smitty, and you know that, I'm sure, are private. I think you got to get down to Poly. I'm not familiar with,
I'll break it down.
Centennial's
public. Centennial's public. Corona. Mission Viejo is public.
Well, I know for a fact that De La Salle, John Bosco, and Mater Dei are private.
Yeah, they're all private. Servite and Sarah are private. De La Salle's private. Bishop Gorman's private, you mentioned. So IMG is a charter school, basically. So
when you look around the country right now at the teams that year in and year out are in the top 5, they're all private schools.
Mission Viejo's not private, D Moose. Mission Viejo's not private. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I would say
I am. I'm not going to be wrong on any of these lists. So please.
Oh, yeah, you know those schools. I know.
These guys in the chat.
I would say about Warren Central.
Yeah,
really,
they're public.
Their top team, Smitty, I think could compete with the top teams from these schools. But year in and year out, because they're a public school, you're still at the mercy of who's living in the area for that stretch.
And for the most part, we got dogs who live on the far east side. You know what, Shaun? I respect. I'm so glad you came in with that take though, because I was a little concerned using your Ball State take from a couple weeks ago. I thought you were gonna come in here and be
no.
I didn't have I forgot that you were in Indy for a little while. So the fact that you were in Indy, you have some knowledge of what Warren Central is, and you were there at the perfect time too, because the time you were in Indianapolis for the Colts is one of our greatest teams of all time.
They were good.
It was a 4-peat. Indianapolis Warren Central Warriors, a 4-time state champions. We had Darren Evans there. We had Jeremy at safety, went to Florida to play for the Gators. We had dogs everywhere. So I'm glad you had some real life experience there, because JB to come out here and just kind of like throws us to the side, and it lets me know that it's just the ignorance of just not understanding or not knowing the history of who we are. I'm not just saying because I went there. I know we're all biased to our schools, but if you actually do the research of Warren Central and the players that have came out of Warren Central, we are a top dog. Now, to your point, Shaun, we are a public school, so yeah, we do have some down years in between. I'm not crazy, but all in all, powerhouse dogs. And by the way, real quick before we move on, I know James gonna jump in and talk some shit. Shout out to Damian Shanklin, man, defensive end, just committed to LSU from Warren Central last night. Shout out to my D-line coach, Coach Corey Clark. Without him, I would not have the career I have. I would not have earned a scholarship. He molded me into a dog. He's been doing it for 10 plus years. Shout out to Corey Clark, the best D-line coach in high school in the state of Indiana. Go ahead, JB, talk some shit.
Hey, Shaun, I'm just saying, listen, he called the man that used to recruit the entire nation that can tell you about every fucking high school in this country ignorant. So I'm just saying, I think I would say, you know what? Warren Central's the best school in the fucking country if they were the best school in the country. But they're not. They're not even close. Stop. They couldn't
the two things, Smitty, the two things working against you are, one, the private schools are going to have better, even Warren Central's best teams. The private schools are going to have better big guys.
Just outsource. They're going to out-resource you. That's bottom line.
Because here's what happened when I was at IMG, Smitty. We didn't like, coming out of spring, we didn't like what we had at a couple positions. So we got on the phone and went fill those needs with not just another player, the best player in the country. So that's where they're kind of cheating a little bit. But Warren Central is legit. The other argument is going to be, you could never, ever in a million years win an argument with anybody from Florida, Georgia, Texas, California about a state championship in Indiana in football.
I understand what you guys are saying.
Right.
I just wish that the rules were different when I was in high school and we could have played those schools. We had certain rules where we couldn't play those schools. I just wish we could have. At the end of the day, it's all he say, she say. There's no way to do it. I just know. At the end of the day, I played college. I know the guys I played with, and I know where they went, and they got fucking 20 plus offers everywhere. We got 20 plus people D1 on my fucking team, and they played all around the nation. SEC, Big East, Big Ten, MAC, SEC, we everywhere. So obviously we must be either I'm just tripping, or the college coaches and around the nation are just bad at evaluating Warren Central talent. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but y'all got it.
So
y'all got it.
do this. Let me take it. Let me put it in perspective right quick for a Florida boy. Now, you know we invented the game of football as y'all know it.
Mhm.
Florida is the reason football became entertaining.
Tampa Catholic Plant. I heard of y'all.
Hey, listen. Okay, so some of the best football in Florida is played in South Florida.
Yeah.
And every time Miami Heritage, even when they had Pat Surtain and all them boys on Miami Northwestern, even when they play the IMGs, Bishop Gormans of the world, like they get smoked. And that's some of the best football in the state of Florida. And you know we got ballers. But when you go up against these big private schools that have recruited from around the country, you're at a disadvantage because of the big guys. Like they got Walter Nolan, and we had Walter Nolan and J.C. Latham, who was just a top 10 pick, and Tyler Booker, who's starting at Alabama, who will be a top 10 pick. The center went to Iowa. You know, all four of the defensive linemen went Power 5. Like that's the advantage. And of course, our skill guys are always gonna match up. So even a public school that's really good, it's still a tough hill to climb. Not saying it can't be climbed, especially if you got a transcendent, once in a lifetime quarterback. You got a real shot because the quarterback.
I would argue football started in Bakersfield, California. That is the winningest. I'm just throwing facts out there. This is
I'm
the
talking
winningest
about the way
high
we
school.
watch it today, the entertainment part of it.
No, I get what you're saying.
Everywhere, yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is Bakersfield High School is the winningest high school football program in all of America. Number one. Number two.
That rich, JB.
Bakersfield is ghetto. Bakersfield's
that sound elite.
Hey, Bakersfield's a shithole. Number one. That's just the home of Joey Porter and Derek and David Carr and all those guys. Number one. Number two, Long Beach Poly has the most NFL players, period, of any high school in America. Just throwing that out there. So I'm just, breaking news real quick. Maybe why the Lakers didn't get their guy, Bailey. Go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah, what up, fellas? Breaking news. UConn has extended Dan Hurley. Let me fix this real quick. Extended Dan Hurley to a 6-year, $50 million contract extension to return to UConn.
Well, there you have it, Shaun. There you have it, Shaun. You only offered him how much more money? $20 more million than a college team, and you thought you were going to get the guy? What?
There it is. Shout out to Dan Hurley,
Smitty,
man.
I know you got to go, Smitty. I know you got to go. Don't let me hold you. Shaun,
I'm about to go right now. Last thing I'm going to say is, too, if we play a Florida team or Cali team, my only question for y'all is where we playing at? Are we coming to y'all city or are y'all coming over here to November in Indianapolis in the snow and the ice outdoors? I love see them Florida boys in negative 10-degree weather. I love see them Cali boys with snow on the ground. That's my last thing I'm going to say. We play any type of weather, hot, cold, it don't even matter. I'm out, fellas.
Hey, JB. Hey, one of the people in the chat called Smitty a bitter baby mama.
Hey, Shaun.
What?
By the way, they've been talking this Cali shit. Bosco, it's not even as good as they've been the last couple of years, but they're still a national powerhouse. They go and beat Texas's best team by 50 every year. And then they talk that same old shit. Bosco and Mater Dei right now are a college football factory. They're college teams right now.
Yeah, they're
spending 25, 30 D1 a year now.
Yeah. You can't put the top private schools in the same classification with public schools. That's not fair.
No. Let me ask you.
Having been at IMG, it's not fair.
No, hell no. And the resources you get, and the resources that are, it's not even close. Like, trust me, I had to play in the inner city. Latrell in the chat and other guys in the chat, TJ played for me. Come on, man. We're hanging with these big time teams because of culture and shit. But come on, we're getting out resourced in every asset. Like Mission Viejo, Shaun, where Bob Johnson was the head coach. Keyshawn was helping out. Antonio Pierce's son went there and he was helping him out. They had Brett Johnson, all these former NFL guys there, Carson Palmer, and all these guys helping Brett out, and Bob Johnson, who played at USC. Brett Johnson played at USC. Bob's son. Rob Johnson, Buffalo Bill, Rob Johnson.
I played with him in Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. Who the head coach was. That's still a public school, by the way. Mission Viejo's football budget, Shaun, this is a public school in Cali, is $1 million a year. And it's probably more than that now. You know what my budget was at Long Beach Cabrillo? $3,000. And I'm playing Mission Viejo. You know what I'm saying? Like, they roll up in luxury buses and fucking just, they got every possible scenario for a program. I got $3,000 and some peanut butter jelly sandwiches and some hood cats get off the bus. Yellow
Hey,
bus.
I've coached high school football at my alma mater, Gibbs High School. Shout out to Gibbs in St. Pete. And I've coached at IMG. It's just it would be like it would be like saying that the Division III like national champion can stay within 20 of the Boston Celtics. Like it's not even like the same comparison. Like IMG's got a better training table than half the Power 5 conferences. I mean, their weight room is state of the art. They're the first ones to do that. They've got hand-eye coordination classes. They got mental capacity classes. Like everything's top notch, man. Come on, man.
Hey, and to be honest, Latrell's in here talking shit. Being
it
funny,
ain't
but
close.
Latrell was on those teams with me, and we were playing like fucking San Clemente, where Sam Darnold was there, and we should have beat those teams. We should have beat a couple of those teams, but Latrell's like, being honest though, like we're in the game for 3 quarters and a half, and then you get out depth, you get out, weight rooms, you get out bodied up front. It's really rotational depth that we didn't have. And Latrell's coaching right now in the same scenario, so he sees it. When you play these big programs, you get out, you just don't have the depth to compete. It's like a Power 5 playing a FCS. You just don't have the resources. Shaun, before you jump off.
One last thing, because I know how to get to the chat now. All you slappies in the Midwest that want to skew the game in your favor by playing in a snowstorm, in the end of November, December, that means you ain't confident in your Cats. Because if you was confident in your Cats, we could meet in a dome, control weather, and you feel just as comfortable and confident. Man, y'all know Indiana high school football ain't even close to Florida, California, Texas, man. Stop it.
And you know what else is funny, though, that the people don't really talk about? Like, these other schools, too. Like, you do a 1-1. And then Bosco did a 1-1, and it was actually worse in Texas. So,
now,
like,
they beat IMG.
Yeah, and so did Centennial.
Yeah.
And then you guys IMG beat Corona Centennial like 65-64 in a shootout game right here in Corona. So it's just crazy. Jeff Nadu's joining us. Before you get out of here, Shaun, I gotta ask him a couple questions with you. Jeff, what up?
What's up? What's going on, guys?
Good morning.
Hope you won your head bobs this weekend, brother.
Did all I could. I mean, I can't remember the last time I hit a bet in horses. It's been 6 months, it seems like.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
Hey, I gotta ask you before, because Shaun bets is like you. What's up with soccer, and where are we at in a soccer update on what's going on? Where are we at as far as the
Euros?
As far as the rounds and where we are?
We're down to the semis. 4 more teams: Spain and France, and then Netherlands, England. So there's 4 teams left. They'll play tomorrow, and then Wednesday, and then the final will be over the weekend.
So I got a big picture question for you for soccer. Why would they play the Copa America and the Euro thing simultaneously? Why aren't because aren't Brazil and Colombia and aren't these some of the top in the world?
Well, yeah, they are, but the Copa's played generally at night, so they're not on at the same time. But I get what you're saying. I hear you. I think for them though, they just look at it as it's on at a different time, and Argentina is still alive. Brazil's out.
Right, they lost to Uruguay.
Yeah, but Argentina
shootout.
Canada's also in as well, which is kind of. I mean, again, they'll probably lose tomorrow, but I think everything's condensed too because Euros in 2021 was played a year later because of coronavirus. They played it in 2021. You got the World Cup coming up, so there's a lot of stuff they have to do, but it's on at different times. So I think they kind of do it.
Hey, how big of a loss? How big of a deal is it that Brazil lost?
Not particularly that big. Brazil didn't have Neymar. Neymar didn't play in this tournament. And again, look, Brazil's still really good, but Argentina's better. Uruguay's obviously really good. It was more of a disgrace that a group like the United States, who we heard, for the last year or two about how much better they are, they couldn't even get past the group stage. So really kind of pathetic. But no, I mean, Argentina is the best team in this tournament. It's no surprise they're down to the Final Four. Canada getting to this point is pretty impressive, though.
What's the biggest problem with USA soccer? Even from an untrained eye, I don't know how much soccer you watch, JB, but when you watch the Spains and Portugals and Frances and Argentina's play, it looks like they're playing a different game than the USA. Like, USA doesn't seem to have a lot of skill. They don't seem to be able to run a whole lot of great set plays. Like, why are we still so deficient?
Well, because they, first of all, their managers are awful. And number two, I mean, they have a few good players, but you look at a group like Spain or France, I mean, every player is world class. They all play at really big club sides. I mean, outside of like Pulisic and one or two others, you know, there's just not a lot there. And you mentioned it. I mean, they have a couple of good players. Weston McKennie, is a decent player, but they just don't have the level of at every position. They're dominant and they can go at that level. They're improving, right? Like MLS is becoming like a better league, and some of these guys are getting into, you know, higher end European sides, but you know, they're just not at every position strong. Look, it's going to still take a while. And look, for a country with 350 million people, it should definitely be a better side, but we just don't focus as JB. He's a big sports guy. He doesn't watch soccer. He doesn't care about soccer, really. And most Americans don't. But again, they're improving. They're better than they used to be, 10 years ago, but it's still going to take time. You got to develop kids.
All right, give us a winner in the Euros. I know you said Spain is playing.
Yeah, I picked France before the tournament started. I felt like on paper they had the best roster, but they still struggle to score goals. Their ability to kind of build up and get into the quality position, they're just not finishing at a high level. Mbappe's not played well in this tournament. They're just kind of all over the place. Listen, in this tournament, own goals have been a huge problem. I believe there's been 10 own goals in this tournament, which, again, for anyone that doesn't know, it's a goal that you put in by accident, essentially. France has been luckily in those kind of games and have won them. England, they've also struggled to kind of finish, but they're still here. I'll go I think Spain is the best team right now. I don't think anyone can touch them. I'll go Spain beats the Netherlands in the final, though I'll be rooting for France because I did bet them to win the whole thing.
Yeah. I agree. That's a good pick. Hey, Shaun, before you leave, though, you know Fred McNair?
Steve's brother?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just texted me. I'm going to get him on with you maybe tomorrow. He's a good dude. He at Alcorn, but
is he still at Alcorn State?
Yeah, I've known him a long time. Good dude. And their cousin also is another Fred McNair. He's also there too, coaching running backs. But he's also there. I did a show with them a few times. But hey, real quick before you get out of here, I just wanted to get you two together. This Bronny James thing. He played game one. I didn't watch it. I'm not watching Summer League basketball. He played game one.
Hater.
He was and I know you. Only reason I bring it up because I know you're defending this cat. ESPN shows the good. They don't really show the bad. It's funny how they pick and choose him. But he got hurt and didn't play game two already because of that right there. Got shook ones, like Mob Deep, shook ones, and then that motherfucker blew out his knee. Where you at with guys load managing already, Shaun?
He's a teenager, first of all.
No excuses. He got drafted. He got $8 million. He got $8 million, son.
Secondly, they're resting him because they want to make sure he's fully healthy for when the real Summer League starts here in Vegas. I think this upcoming Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Lakers are like the kickoff game. So what they want to do, we don't want to use him up in Golden State where nobody's at the game, and we know it's going to be a packed arena a week from now. So it's actually smart. And secondly, here's what I don't get about the Bronny hate. From a skill standpoint, Bronny has talent. He has ability. He's just like almost 90% of every NBA draft. He's a projection and a developmental talent that the team that selects him think is going to contribute at some point down the line. Isn't that the evaluation for damn near the whole NBA draft? So why all of some people hate Bronny so much? That's the narrative now in basketball because they're one and done. The lottery every year is guys who really didn't do much their year out of high school, or they're like the number one pick in the draft, the kid from France. What do you average? 10 points and 4 rebounds, and he went number one. Risa Shea, so that's why that's why I think Bronny's got a chance to develop down the line because he's just like every other selection. He's a projection.
I agree with you. Before Jeff talks, I agree with you on that part. For a 55th pick, I don't think there was anything better anyway. So it's a feel-good story. I think it's more of a feel-good story for his daddy, but I think this guy's a G leaguer. I don't think he can get a shot off in the NBA with real guys. I don't know. But Jeff, give me your take on this whole Bronny thing.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, and piggybacking off what Shaun was saying, I mean, it was a particularly poor draft. I mean, I someone that watches college basketball, I thought, some of the kids that were drafted, let's say in like 10 to 20, even into the late first round, I thought had kind of a better option to be a legitimate player in the league. I mentioned to you guys, if it were my decision, I would have taken Donovan Clingan #1 overall personally. But there's not a lot of stars in this class. In fact, I didn't think there were more than maybe 3 or 4 kids that were kind of table setters for a team and you could build a team around. That said, when it comes to LeBron James Jr., look, I'm not going to knock the kid over one game. At the end of the day, I'm not his biggest fan. I've said for a long time that I don't think he's a particularly strong basketball player. I think he is able to live in the shadow of his father. And look, that's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do that. For a long time, a lot of people said I did that due to the fact that how I was raised. But I can't control, and we can't control who we're born to at the end of the day. And the kid is, he's getting a little bit more just because of his father, but he's going to have to prove it at the end. In the end, he's going to have to be what we hope he is. That said, I agree with JB that I'm not sure that I think he's much more than a G League player. I think the real great player in that family is the other brother coming up. I think he will be probably something special, but we'll see. I think it's too early to knock the kid. And that said, I mean, Dalton Knecht didn't play particularly well either. So I think if you're going to knock LeBron Jr., you got to knock Knecht. I think, what was he, 2 for 12, I think, 3 for 13?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Knecht also, I said that to start the show. Knecht's going to, getting their feet wet. I mean, Wembanyama or whatever started off a little slow last year. Hey, before Shaun goes, go ahead.
I just want to say one other thing. Obviously, it's tough and obscure to bet on, but over the years, I've done very well with NBA Summer League, particularly the actual Summer League. If you can look at these rosters, and again, it's you have to watch college basketball, I think, to really have a decent shot at it. But some of these teams are significantly better than the other teams, and there's some money to make in Summer League.
I didn't even know you could bet that shit, Shaun. You two motherfuckers are degenerates.
Well, I live in Vegas, so I know, and we covered Summer League for my other job the last 3 years, so that's why I know. And a lot of it has to do with motivation too.
Yes, exactly, and that's another thing. Look, I'll bet on anything if I feel like I have an edge. And again, some of the time they'll just put some of these teams on paper are brutal. So, and again, it's just about watching college basketball, knowing some of the teams that are stacked and aren't. But yeah, you could bet on anything. So,
hey, Shaun, before you leave, I want to show you a list because we're going to talk about tomorrow with you. Top 20 duos of all time. I want you to just get some thoughts down because we're going to do our list tomorrow. And just looking at this, you think that's one right there?
I mean, if you're talking about what they accomplished in college, both winning a Heisman, winning a national championship, I mean, that's pretty hard to duplicate. I don't see anybody else on the list that did that. So if that's their criteria, yeah. If you're talking about most talented, no. But people forget Liner and Bush won a Heisman and USC won a Natty. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive.
Should have won two. Yeah.
No, they shouldn't have beat Texas. Texas won. They had their chances.
Shaun, they were up 12 points.
Here's what's crazy. If you go back, how pissed off is Justin Jefferson that they chose Jamar Chase?
I know. That's interesting. I know. But USC was up 12 with 6 minutes left. Should have never fucking lost that game. But anyway, Shaun, appreciate you.
All right, man. Y'all have a great day.
We'll see you tomorrow. All right, brother.
See you, bro.
Jeff, what up? A lot going on. I wanted to stay on this Laker kick real quick because UConn just signed, in breaking news, Hurley to a $50 million extension. There was no fucking way the Lakers were getting this dude for only $20 million more than what UConn offered them. The Lakers are a sinking ship. You and I have said this for a while. They're a sinking ship. LeBron James is being catered to at 40 years old. In my opinion, should have been traded last year. And now we are stuck with him with a lady who knows nothing about running an organization. She's running it into the ground. Dr. Buss, Kobe Bryant, Jerry West rolling over in their grave. Rob Pelinka, Kobe's homie, basically is absolutely doing nothing. They didn't get one free agent, Jeff. Not a fucking soul. And DeMar DeRozan is from Compton, California, 10, 15 minutes away from where they play in LA, and chose to go to Sacramento. And I don't want to hear taxes and inflation and crime because it's the same fucking state, 6-hour drive away. So where are you at with the Lakers as a sinking ship, and what the fuck's going on here in LA?
Yeah, I'm nowhere different than I was. I think you and I both know they're, as you said, they're not getting better. They haven't improved in any way. You know, adding Dalton Connect and LeBron James Jr. ain't going to do nothing for me. As you alluded to, you're connecting yourself, and you're putting someone that, again, won't be here in a couple of years, and you're building your entire future on that. I mean, to not go out and add anything as far as a free agent is concerned is pathetic. As far as the pecking order in the West, you're nowhere near the top. It's putting all your eggs in the LeBron James basket. But again, he is the greatest player arguably ever outside of Michael Jordan, and they're going to put into effect what he wants. That said, the Dan Hurley stuff, you lowballed the guy. You got it. If you want to go out and get, the nicest car, you're going to have to pay more than everything else. And that's just how it works. They didn't do that. And now they're stuck with JJ Redick, which is an insane consolation prize. I mean, it's the level of Dan Hurley to JJ Redick is vast, so they didn't really do anything well. What a terrible offseason.
The worst of the NBA, I would agree, right? I would think, right?
I don't know that there was, even the Sixers, who do nothing in free agency or seemingly ever to make their team better. Now, I don't know if they got better. I guess to me they did, because getting rid of Tobias Harris is a huge win. I've always said I'm not the biggest Paul George guy. You talk about a guy that has failed considerably in the playoffs, and you add him to a team that collectively have failed in the playoffs. It's not a particularly strong marriage to me, but even they went out and did something.
It's Jeff. I want to show you something real quick. LeBron James being interviewed yesterday, and take a listen to this. And I got an interesting take on this. Go ahead, Bailey.
With the Sacramento Kings, what do you think happens? It takes two to tango. I mean, at the end of the day, I think, our front office, our coaching staff, they try to do the job that they wanted to do, or try to get guys to come, and it didn't happen. And that's okay. That's part of the business.
So here's my take on that, Jeff. Why is LeBron saying that? Why is it his place to say that? And that's the thing that's the issue I have with this organization, man. Why isn't Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss saying that? You know why? Because they'll look even more of a fucking fool if they get out there and say it. But they put LeBron out there, who they've catered to. They hired the head coach for him. They drafted his son. I mean, this isn't a fucking a theory or a conspiracy. Come on, this is fact. He was asked a question, Freddie Mac, but why? Why is he asked the question? Where's Jeannie Buss and Pelinka, Freddie Mac? You always skip over the main thing. Keep the main thing, Freddie Mac. Is LeBron the owner, GM, and head coach too? Like, I'm trying to figure out, where's the brass at this fucking
notice
table?
We don't ever hear from them. I don't know if I've ever heard from Jeannie Buss talk about anything. I mean, she's behind the scenes. And we have to remember, Freddie Mac, you kind of act like they didn't go to LeBron James and say, hey, what about DeRozan? What do you think about him coming here? Hey, what about so-and-so? What about him coming here? Yeah, I agree with you. It's laughable. That said, in Freddie Mac's defense, he did ask him the question, but you're right. I don't know why he's commenting on it. You should ask the owner or the GM.
Yeah, it's like I'd be asking Bron more questions about the fucking podcast with JJ Redick, homie. I wouldn't be asking him about the fucking what happened in the offseason. I'd be asking him about, hey, man, what's up with the podcast? You still going to do that shit with your head coach?
A lot of these guys do them, so I guess I would think.
Yeah. Going back to last week real quick, the Cowboys are back in the news in football because of what they always are in the news for. Other shit rather than football. It's never about football with them. It's always something else. Micah Parsons is being scrutinized by his own teammates for doing a show and always talking about other shit. And I know where there's other guys doing shows and stuff, but Cowboys get magnified, right? Like, why? Again, we're back in the offseason right before camp, and the Cowboys are in the news for something other than being good at football. And this is why I never take that organization serious. That's why I don't take the Lakers serious anymore. This is why you don't take the Philadelphia 76ers most of the time serious. This is just breaking code. I don't believe you should have this out there with two teammates. But that tells you it's a telltale sign on that organization and ran by Jerry Jones, who's a cadaver at this point. Doesn't it? I don't know.
I've always been in the camp of like old school, and like if you're a high-level NFL player and that's your job, that's your job. And it almost seems like to me when it comes to him, we're always talking about his podcast that he does, and we're not talking about him being a strong – I'm not saying he's not a strong linebacker, but I think Malik Hooker, who I believe said it, is talking about, you know, do you care more about your show or do you care more about us? And one thing that's interesting about this, when I was at Barstool, I remember we had a podcast with a kid that played at Michigan, Hunter Dickinson. I remember he was getting a lot of shit for doing that show. And, you know, it was starting to bleed into some of his play and that sort of thing. And I think at one point he kind of just took a step back from it because it was becoming too much. Yeah, I think I always hear about Michael Parsons or that he's at a game with Michael Rubin or something like that. So, yeah, look, if he plays well,
all white
nobody
party
cares. But it's the same thing with like Caleb Williams. Nobody cares about you, you know, dressing the way you do or whatever if you play well. But if you don't, it's all going to be magnified. So I think it's too early, but it is a good point from Malik Hooker. I agree.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Hey, Shaun, Bailey, can you get this in? I just put it in the chat. I want to get that take because Jeff covers a lot of this stuff. Jeff, real quick, the world's going crazy. It's upside down right now. I brought it up with Smitty. These people that seem to be blowing up as influencers, as content creators, as household names now. They either do something and say something very stupid that gets viral attention, such as this guy named Rico Knows or whatever that he did over the weekend with the unfortunate death of the kid that passed away this weekend. Or it's someone like the Bobby Altott or whatever her name is who got to interview Drake. Or it's a guy like Mr. Beast who out of nowhere became the largest YouTuber of all time. Or it's a Michael Rubin White Party. They all have one thing in common, Jeff, and I just want to point this out. They all have the same agency and the same agent that actually picked them out of a hat, it seems like, and put them under the same umbrella. And that's, to me, the conspiracy in all this thing. Where are you at with these content creators that seemingly blow up overnight, like Hawk Tua and all these other people? And they all, by the way, have the same agent again. And I've been looking into researching this, and it's crazy to me.
I think there's a fairly strong and vast difference between, at least to me, Michael Rubin, Mr. Beast, and the other people. Michael Rubin built the company. Michael Rubin is a businessman. Look, is he a guy that I would want to hang out with? Probably not. But, hey, people like him. He's a personable guy. Mr. Beast also. But Mr. Beast built his YouTube into what it is due to his studying YouTube. The other idiots, these complete nobodies that – but then again, when I walk and go somewhere, people recognize me. They don't. It's the TikTok world. You
weren't picked to be put in front of Drake. There's a reason why. Like they were picked under an agency. You're not Bobby Altott's not just getting Drake first interview like out of nowhere. Who the fuck is this person?
But there is some sort of right. I get what you're saying. There is some sort of, I guess, small amounts of talent there where like she is, I guess, to certain people funny. These idiots that we find, like this stupid whore that we put on a documentary because she said some stupid word on an interview. She is not talented. She's talking about quitting her job and this and that. And what the fuck are you even talking about? But in this sick, demented, deranged, sex-obsessed world, we put people like her on a pedestal, which is bizarre. I don't get it. But you know, I saw a video about that Hawk shit, and the one guy said, this is only funny, I think, to white people, I've noticed. Like, these country bumpkin white people think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't think you think it's funny. I think it applied to like that frat boy culture. They thought it was funny, but it really just wasn't funny. And I think now people are just like, what the fuck? Like, can this fucking idiot go away already?
I talked to somebody over the weekend. It's funny that somebody in the chat actually said it, but I was told too that Barstool might go after her, and it makes sense, right? Would that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, she fits into the into that world. I think here's the issue, and Dave Portnoy is not a stupid guy. He knows this. At the end of the day, it was funny for a little bit, but what can she actually do to earn money for the company? Like I think that's
my point. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to almost look at that now. And, I think long term, does someone have the talent to do a podcast? Look, anybody can say, I'm going to do a podcast, but it's not easy to do a podcast. You have to come every week with new content. You have to create things. And for people that don't generally do that, it's hard to do. Listen, when I create a show, I don't just turn on the thing and just start talking. It takes time. You got to sit here and put the shit together. It's not easy. But someone like her, I mean, it's, as you know, JB, what the fuck would she talk about? Oh, yeah, I said this one thing and it was funny once. Oh, okay, well, then what? Like, now what?
I don't know, man. It's just, to me, I keep seeing these people that make it, and I'm just like, damn. It's just.
But I look at it and say to myself, like, people talk about, oh, it's normal. Everybody does it. Well, I know for a fact, my sister would never say some shit like that on camera. That's a disgust. Like, why is sex so pervasive? Can you explain that to me? Why are we so hypersexual as a society in this country where everything we do, we put these disgusting people on a pedestal? And for a while, like, I bought into it. I'm like, oh, yeah, she's hot, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But as I get older, modesty is way sexier to me than anything. And number two, people like that are repulsive to me. Porn stars are repulsive to me. They make me fucking sick physically. Why do we put these people on pedestals?
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what sells. It's crazy. Pussy sells. I mean, I don't know. Let me ask you something that you covered this whole space, not in this particular order, but in this world. I like to see more of this, but we're being overran by craziness. There was a car event, and these Hamas Palestinian protests, all this shit is everywhere, if you noticed.
Yeah.
An American got on the fence to pull this guy's Palestine flag down, and we're seeing this shit going crazy. Like, this is an ongoing thing. These guys are going to all these places in America. They're defacing our statues. They're defacing our everything in America. It's crazy. If we went over to there and did that, we'd be beheaded. But they're coming over here because we're the land of the free, home of the brave, and allow every fucking thing. It's getting to be disgusting. I'm actually over it. I'm actually hoping I see one of these fucks. I've yet to see one in my area, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in this country because it's election year. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. We're seeing, Biden. Is he going to resign? Is he going to be? People think he might be killed off. There's reports out there. Who's on the ballot? Now there's reports out there that Kamala can't be a president. She wasn't. Her parents aren't from America. I don't know the whole legalities of that. I wanted to dive into that with you.
Well, it really, to answer the first question, it really comes down to one insular issue, whether it's stealing a bunch of bags from Target, no one doing anything about it, or going to an event and protesting, or climate activism or whatever. We no longer as a society, at least in most locations, as far as big cities, we don't prosecute people for crimes anymore. People are emboldened. They know nothing will happen. And you got to relate it to a little child. When you have a little child and he does something wrong and you punish him. I remember when I was a kid, when I was punished, I didn't do it again, right? But I was punished. And I distinctly remember being punished sternly. Nowadays, we don't punish children. We can't punish children. We can't put them in, a position where they did something wrong. And long term, then we look at it and we say, well, we don't punish anyone and everyone keeps them being emboldened to do things. That's why we don't put people in jail anymore. People have no consequences to their behavior. It's accepted at really every level. As far as Joe Biden, there are two things that will not happen. Joe Biden will not be on the ballot on November 4th or whatever date it is. It's not going to happen. There's no fucking way in God's green earth he is on the ballot. Number two, the most effective candidate, and I'm not saying I think this is the most effective candidate. So before you jump on me, remember, I don't agree. I'm just saying I think the Democrat Party, the most effective candidate that they believe can actually win, there's only one, Michelle Obama. And I do believe that with, obviously, Barack being her husband, she is a Democrat, she is African-American, she is a woman. She would appeal to a lot of middle-class people, white, black, whatever. Women would like her. And again, regardless of what you say about the Obamas, a lot of people liked Barack Obama. A lot of people voted for Barack Obama. A lot of people would vote for him again. She would be the only candidate that I think that could beat Trump. Newsom, I don't see it. Kamala, nobody believes anything she says. She's a fake person at every level. I think Obama would be the and remember, she wouldn't even really run anything. Barack would be running it.
Only thing that I know to be fact, that I've looked this up for a few times, and I talked to my brother who's in the Air Force, who's a hardcore Republican, has been dealing with this for a long time. The money won't transfer to anyone other than Kamala, though. So no campaign money can be raised for anyone outside of Kamala Harris, the VP. So they would lose all that campaign money, and they would have to basically start over. So unless Michelle and Barack have started that, which they could have very well had that in a separate deal, she can't run, and neither can Gavin Newsom. But apparently, see, Newsom's a guy that I believe could have the backing and the money rather quickly if they do put him on the ballot.
Well, but whoever they put,
RFK, I don't believe will be on that either.
Whoever they put in there, though, is going to have a war chest that will be there for them, and they'll quickly be able to raise money. You look at Joe Biden, I think in like a week raised like 30 mil. And remember this, you think the celebrity stuff's crazy now. If she enters the race, every fucking celebrity will donate a lot of money. Remember, whoever they put in there is going to be taken care of. So I don't know if that's a big issue to me. But I think the only person, and again, I'm not saying I support Michelle Obama, but I think the only person that could actually beat Trump would be Michelle Obama. And I think they recognize that. All the top Democrats are pushing like hell. And I think you could sell that to Joe Biden. Joe, step out of the way. Let's let Michelle. She's got it. I think you could sell that to Joe Biden. And I think eventually he will be pushed out for sure.
I think the majority, though, would struggle with a woman. I just think right now in this world where a woman VP has failed the border, which her number one job was, Kamala Harris' number one job was to secure the border. She did not do that. She hasn't fired anybody that's in charge of the border. She's shown no initiative, no leadership. I don't believe the American people in totality would really vote for a woman at this point. That's just my gut. Now,
remember too, you're right there, but I think again, it's not going to be Harris. There's no one. She is, I think, to a lot of people, very fake.
I think it's Newsom. I think it's Newsom all day. That's my personal opinion, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it would come down to Newsom or Obama. There's no one else, I think, there that would be.
Doesn't that tell you a bigger story? Like, let's just say, for instance, whoever it is, it's somebody new. This late in the game, Jeff. Isn't that an indictment on the country that we live in? Like, this is America. We're supposed to be the cream of the creme of the creme, the best of the best. How is this? We're just like throwing shit at the wall at this point to see if it sticks. Like, anything's better than Trump. Anything's better than Biden. Like, let's just take the lesser of two evils. Like, it's crazy.
But the problem is, and for anyone that thinks that if Donald Trump gets elected, that will be helpful, but the damage is already done. We've already let millions of people into this country undocumented, right? You've already done that. It's not like
Eric Weddle lives in San Diego, and I've been talking to him. Do you know that they're fucking letting like 200,000 in a month down here in San Diego, and nobody's talking about it? And they've been interviewing these older ladies, and they're saying, we had to get strapped up because they're walking through our yard in huge groves, and nobody's talking about it. No one's covering it. So we called the border.
That's the bigger indictment, what you were saying about it's, we're into July. We're pushing towards the middle of July, and the Democratic Party has no fucking idea what they're doing. But you know what? The bigger fucking issue I have is Joe Biden. Get the fuck out of the way, Joe Biden. You selfish, greedy motherfucker. You and your family should be disgraced. You continue to push yourself out there. I'm running. Is that the best option for the country, Joe? Because you say you care about America. Get the fuck out of the way then.
He clearly can't speak. He can't. I mean, look at all the shit we're
anybody
seeing.
that tells you he can is a fucking delusional idiot. Anybody can see it. Look, I'm not the biggest Trump guy. I don't like Biden either. I think Trump, though, is a significantly better option than Joe Biden. And Joe Biden needs to recognize that. His family needs to recognize that. They should be ashamed that they keep pushing him out there. And I'll tell you what I found funny was they chalked the debate up to it was just one bad night. Joe was sick. What's going to happen in September when they do another debate? You're 2 months away from the election at that point. So at that point, you're just going to say, oh, he's out now. He had two bad nights. What's the excuse going to be then?
And you know what's crazy, though, that they won't show? We see all these videos, the Ukraine, and now we're hearing they're giving Social Security dollars to Ukraine. That's another thing that if that's true, I'm going to wait to talk about that if that's real. But clearly there's an issue. But the border crisis, when an old lady in San Diego calls the Border Patrol, which patrols this whole area where we're at, and you see the trucks everywhere and there's Border Patrol everywhere around here, they called. And she did it. They interviewed her, and Weddle sent me it. They called her, and she said, yeah, I called the Border Patrol. And I said, hey, we got these fuckers in my backyard. And they said, don't do anything because you could be arrested. That's what they told this lady. It's sickening, man. Like, it's sickening. So if these motherfuckers break into my house and I shoot them, I'm going to be arrested? Like, it's sickening on what's happening in our country. This country, America. It's a fucking joke.
It's still, and it's the same thought of, watching when you're at Target, people just come in, steal a bunch of shit and walk out like nothing. It's sad that we have to watch people just get socked on the street by deranged lunatics that.
I mean, this old lady, you see the old black lady got beat down and robbed in Oakland. Like, and Governor Newsom, aren't you fucking from that area? Aren't you this governor of this state? Like, what the fuck's going on, Governor Newsom? You're so great. Why are you in Ohio and Pennsylvania? Why are you out there in swing states promoting what? Why are you there? You're California's governor, unless he's going to be on the ballot, Jeff. That's why.
I think the biggest also indictment is, and this is one thing we've seen that's very pervasive the last year or two, is we have a real struggle in this country with helping out the people that are on the street that are doing these things, that are hurting people, these deranged people that are doing this stuff. A lot of them are drug addicts. Maybe they haven't had the right mental care. We no longer have mental facilities. These are people that, Coach, think about this idea. We send people to war. They become killing machines. They kill people, okay, soldiers. They stop their military service, and we just throw them back into society, and we think, oh, they're going to be able to behave and work in the same levels as everyone else. And then we do nothing to help them. We don't help people that have served this country. And we send all the money that we've had, that people have paid in through taxes, and we send it to a country and countries that are tens of thousands of miles away. And then we see these videos coming out of Ukraine where, people are partying on beaches and it looks fun. And Zelensky's wife is buying a brand new car. And we say to ourselves, well, what about us? At what point will we start to look at this and say, we're not putting up with this anymore? The people on the street that are doing this bad shit to people, why are we not putting them where are mental facilities? Do they exist anymore? Where are the buildings where we send people that have mental problems? They are not fit to live in the same society as you and I. And if they killed people, we would put them in prison. Why are these people we do nothing? We don't see if they're taking their medication. We just throw them into a city and say, hey, you're on your own. What society can that work in? And why is that accepted?
Here. And that's what I think it's going to come down to, Jeff. My personal opinion is, I would think you agree, the border is going to be the number one voting, determinant. like what's going on with our border. And this current administration, you could say whatever you want to say, that is who's failed the border, period. Like, and that's who continues to fail the border, and that continues to not even address the border. And there's like if Biden said, you know what, National Guard, we're going to hit this border tough and get the arm, and we're going to shut this border down, and we're going to start deporting dudes. Because look at all the uprising and not only in fucking pedophilia, but look at all the uprising and assault of our women and children from these immigrants. That is why, if you would address that, Jeff, then at least you can say, all right, at least this guy sees it and he's starting to address it. We can say that he fucked us early, but he's trying to fix it. That's not even happening. He's not even giving a fuck.
And also remember, we also are not addressing one of the real national
fentanyl,
right? Which again, for anyone who's not aware, that's not going to stop. I mean, if you think that migrants are bringing in drugs to this country, and if we shut the border down, it's going to stop. Listen, let me explain.
Forever.
No, and I don't know if you know this. Are you aware that in our ports, right, in ports around America, do you know how much cargo they actually look at? Like what percentage? Like 5%. And that's where drugs are coming in, okay? It's not some coyote walking across the border bringing in a couple of kilos, and that's destroying America. Listen, the border is more of a national security problem. Bad people coming here in droves, and they're setting up shop here and building an empire. We have to look at ports. We have to look at fentanyl is killing a lot of people. It's a poison, okay? It's a poison. And ask yourself where it comes from. It doesn't come from Mexico. Fentanyl is not made in Mexico. You know where it comes from? Tell me, JB, you know. China. China. That's where you get the chemicals to make fentanyl. Yes.
And Russia and Ukraine.
And fentanyl just popped up. You know, for a long time, people were prescribed fentanyl for certain medical issues. But again, adding all the poison that they add into it. And trust me, fentanyl won't be the last one. There'll be another one that's waiting in the wings, that's already out in the street, that's 100 times. I think it's called carfentanil or something. It's 100 times more powerful than fentanyl. The next thing's coming. And eventually your whole customer base will be killed off, and it'll be in the millions of people dying from this shit.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm
and then every couple of years we arrest someone from the El Chapo Sinaloa drug crew. We're doing something to stop this. It doesn't stop shit. The Sinaloa cartel is more powerful than any time. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. It's fucking discouraging. I tell you that. I just don't know. As a country, I wouldn't be happy. Like, I'm not happy with anybody at this point, but I just don't know why we continue to use cadavers at 80-year-olds as our number 1 and 2 options. Like, where the fuck are the 45-year-olds? You can run for presidency at 35 years old. Why don't we have some younger people in place?
I think most Americans, and I think if you talk to an everyday American, I think people are just tired. They're tired of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Like, get out of the way. I think it's really, that's more the issue. Once we get past these two guys, then you start to get younger. I mean, most of the candidates that are being thought of as in 4 years or 8 years, significantly younger people, right? And we need those people to step up. And we need them to kind of, I'm not saying rescue this country, but these two need to get out of the way. They're both greedy, inconsiderate motherfuckers. Get out of the way. Again, Trump's a better option than Biden. But I think once we get past this, but I'll ask you, I saw a TikTok recently where a kid was talking about since 2019, basically started 2020, doesn't the world just seem different? Like, nothing seems real, you know?
I'm talking about Jeff. I just talked to my buddy yesterday, sitting here drinking, and we had this conversation. Nothing, to your point, is the same. I'm talking about food, weather, the feel, just the feel of everyday life is just not the same. Like,
and everything is just like, there's nothing that's real. Like there's not excitement really much anymore.
Everything's a conspiracy. Everything's a thought of, could this be something? Are they cloud seeding? Are we getting a fake chicken? Is the beef fake? Are they killing off our chicken farms? Are they killing our China buying all our farmland in Montana? Like, all this shit is just keep.
Coach, the biggest, no matter what they say, all this, all this stuff they say is the biggest problem. This right here is the biggest problem we have.
Oh, I've been saying that forever. I think
this pervasive social media culture, everything is we can't focus on anything. Everything has got to be clipped and put out for the world to see. It's you know what's sad? I don't know if it's not just this country. It seems you look at France. I mean, look at some of these other places.
Yeah, look what they're doing.
I kind of just want to find a small little country and just chill, and
Hey,
watch the
that was
rest.
my point to you a couple years ago. That was my point to you. I mean, a couple months ago. I was like, man, these other countries may be even worse than what we got going because they're smaller. I don't know if they can fend off all this shit that's happening. Like, this shit's bad. France is going to turn into – I mean, that's what's happened. To be honest, the left is taking over France because they're unhappy with what's going on.
You ask yourself, and this is something I've always wondered, whether it's America or France or wherever, who are the people that vote for these people? Like,
Yeah,
what are
that's
these
why I think
people?
it's fake,
What
Jeff.
are
That's why I
they
think it's
seeing?
fake. Yeah.
What are they seeing that I'm not seeing? Because I consider myself a decently educated person. I feel like I have a little bit of knowledge. What are they seeing where they want this continued pervasive, like, no punishment for criminals? We let anyone in. Like, who wants this shit?
I think this is all computer generated by whoever controls the puppets, like the puppet master, the deep state, whatever you want to call it. I think there's other parties involved. I just think there is. I don't know. It's a conspiracy or what, but I just think there's no way, because literally people with two eyes and a brain that are just born into this world out of the womb can see that this Joe Biden guy is not running the country, A, and cannot run the country, B. Like, there's no way that if you really are a human being that was born, that wasn't mentally challenged of some sort, can sit there and tell me that this dude is running America or the country and can run the country, you're a fool. You're just delusional. And you're clearly voting for him because you don't like Trump. Period.
Well,
you haven't done any research.
And that's where, and what would be really great, I think, in this country would be if, thank God, there was a third candidate where we could say, hey, both these guys are bad. Let's go to somewhere else. But, Coach, I will give you some positivity. I watch a lot of travel content, that sort of thing. There still are a lot of beautiful, obscure, safe places in the world. And I think that's, look, if you're not happy, and look, I've said for a long time, it really doesn't matter whether it's red or blue to me. I'm not particularly happy living here. I just want to go somewhere else, and I want to.
Here's my point to your take, though. The reason I keep saying what I say about the smaller places is because if America goes down the way they're going, we control the narrative on all these other places. Because if the protection from here goes away, those other places are just feast of famine. They're going to be swallowed up by whoever. Look at what's happening in France and London. They're going to be Middle Eastern countries here in the next few years going down this path. And it's crazy because it's a telltale sign, I believe, by the deep state pushers.
Let me ask you, though, and I'll just ask for just a second. If let's just say the UK becomes, for the majority, Islamic in a way, that would do away with a lot of the pervasiveness of sex and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it'd be a communist country, and in my opinion, it'd be another dictatorship, which, some people can argue this is what Trump wants, and this is what we're doing here, and all this. But the truth of the matter is, I don't believe Americans that have as many guns as we have in backwood West Virginia, LA, Pennsylvania, I don't think that'll happen because you'll end up having a civil war as we've already done in this country. So I don't think that can happen.
It's July 8th. Right, we have about 4 months to the election. On this day, 4 months from now, who's the president?
I think so. I don't believe it's so cut and dried as everyone thinks with Trump, because I think there's going to be some sort of major catastrophe that happens between now and then. Whether it's Biden killed off, Trump killed off, which he said himself, he thinks they're probably going to try to get him out of there. As far as being, real, whatever they call it, unalived or whatever the fuck you call it. All this stupid shit they say now, I believe that's really out there. I think that something's going to happen. And I think a world war stops the election, keeps this current administration in office, and you have a whole nother fucking shit. We're living in a nightmare.
And just remember, and I've always said this to you on your show, all these countries like this one that are just collapsing, China, Russia, Iran, these countries that are just systematically around the world becoming stronger, building up area, finding these small countries with weak governments and going in and establishing their own puppet governments. They're only getting stronger, and they're looking.
The problem is, Jeff. The problem is, like, and I get reassurance from my brother who kind of gives me these numbers. The problem is, like, we're almost 4 times stronger than both of those countries combined if it ever goes down to brass tacks. Air, sea, weaponry, all that shit. We're fucking so much more elite, and that's the issue. I'm just saying, God forbid a war happen. I'm just saying if it happened.
Yeah.
There's still no other. I'd rather be here still than those places because
Do you trust, I mean, you would have to go at, I would think you'd have to go through some sort of drafting system. Do you think that the young people in this country are the ones that we have?
Here's my point, though, and this is the point that I've made several times on this show. My brother has kind of given me this way to think, and I thought about it. I'm like, fuck, you're right. He goes, JB, I watch your show, and I know you talk shit about all our youngsters, and there's no way these soft pussies sucking dildos in barracks and shit in the Army and Air Force could defend it. He goes, but understand, those are the same fucking generation that's in Russia and China, too. Those same fucking pussies over there.
That's where I don't agree with you.
Because we see it, Jeff. There are videos. They're the same people they got are doing the same shit we do.
But in China, though, there are also dozens of videos where you see little children, 3, 4, 5 years old. They are incredibly proficient, smart.
But Jeff, they're not going to be able to cross that water and avoid a missile and our aircraft and our fleet on the Navy. Like, we double and triple them in number of ships and planes that we have. Both combined.
I would have a strong, at least to me, I think China would really be probably.
And we'll end it like this, but I got to ask you, what you're seeing in France right now is a precursor, in my opinion, if Trump wins here in America. That is what you're going to see, because that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. We're going to have some crazy and you're going to have to focus now on getting your armed forces involved with shutting down cities from getting overtaken, like you're seeing in France. Like, what's going to stop Oakland, LA, Frisco, Philly, Pittsburgh, all these places? You won't see it in South Carolina and rural ass places, but you'll see it in these big cities, Chicago, New York, LA.
I think a lot of people just look at it and say, as long as I'm not there, I don't give a shit what happened. And for a long time, that's how people have look. Coach, remember this, and this is one thing I will say about crime and this sort of thing. Crime has been a problem in this country for decades. The 70s in New York was extremely dangerous in the 70s. You know about the 80s in Los Angeles with the crack epidemic. I mean, Chicago. I recently talked to a Chicago police officer. He was a cop for 20 years. I mean, he talked about in the 80s. I mean, you had one district in Chicago, 100 murders a year in one district, or 25 districts. So crime has been a problem for a while, but I think now it's just so, and we don't punish people, right? We used to, you hurt somebody, you went to prison. Now it's, you hurt somebody, 12 hours later, you're out. And remember, the biggest fucking shitheads that destroyed this country are Joe Biden, Bill Clinton with that crime bill in 1994. The Democratic Party made this situation what it is today. 20-ish years later, 30 years later, remember, those are the people. The Democrats did this, and now they're the ones fighting back against it. Black Lives Matter, all this stuff. These people are the ones that started this shit.
Yeah.
So
you know what I've never noticed, and we'll end it. I appreciate you coming on and staying on. Here's the thing: I've never paid attention to the lower level elections than I have this year, as far as mayors, governors, senators, sheriffs. In my opinion, it starts with sheriffs. If the sheriffs in this country got on the same page and said, all right, we still got to do right, regardless of what the right does, the left does, whatever their political ploy is. We still have to do right to protect our citizens, which we took an oath to do as police officers.
Coach, but here's the issue. This is the problem. And this is why that summer of 2020 was one of the most detrimental summers in the history of this country, because now we have made policing, good policing, you can't do it anymore.
No, and I agree, but that's why I think the sheriffs being voted in, who they are, at least because we have the sheriff here in California, Riverside, California.
But let's say we do put the right police, right sheriffs in positions. If the people above them, the DAs and these people that run these cities' justice system, if they don't, you have to be in unison, in step. If we bring you criminals, you are going to prosecute them.
That's why I'm saying. I'm saying, I agree. That's why I'm saying I think you have to have the right mayor, all these things have to be the pecking order. And it doesn't need to be left or right. Back in the day, we had left and right working together on these things, and we've never seen it like it is right now. Never. Like nowadays, everyone has to vote. We need a Democratic fucking sheriff, DA, blah, blah. Nah, you have to just do right.
I'm going to tell you something. Selling that to Chicago, Philadelphia. I'm telling you, Philadelphia is 85% Democrat.
I know.
And what's crazy is Democrats have destroyed communities, and these people still vote for them. Ask yourself this, though. For all these people that want to sell to you this stupid Black Lives Matter movement, okay, just think about this for a second. Did you see them once go into a neighborhood that has a gun?
I called that shit out 5 years ago. That shit was a ploy. By the way, it was
the defund the police movement was the stupidest movement in the history of this country. One of the most ridiculous, moronic movements ever put out.
By the way, the Black Lives Matter shit, if you talk to any real folks and real brothers and sisters out there, it was created by a rich white person who fucked you over.
No normal citizen, black, white, Spanish, whatever, believes that we should have a society with no police. It's an insane thought. Most people just want to live in their house, go out for dinner once in a while, and take their kids to amusement parks. That's all most people want to do, and they want to do it without having to worry about criminals who are deranged that are going to hurt them. They want people that will protect them. Most people feel that way. Just an insane movement, one of the dumbest, most detrimental things we've ever had. Because again, what it's done now is you now have consent decrees in Baltimore and Atlanta and Chicago where you can't police anymore. Do you realize, Coach, in my little city where I live, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, we have an officer shortage here in this little city. This is happening everywhere. People don't want to be police. And what happens is you don't have enough police to police, and you have homeless that find their way in, and you have all these other people. And before we know, we say, what the fuck happened here? People don't want to be police because they can't fucking police anymore.
No, I agree with that too. But I think it all comes down to, I think you have to hire a sheriff that has balls to go and say.
But you have to do it everywhere. You can't just do stupid.
I agree. But you know, and I know, you're not going to get all Democrats or all Republicans. So my point is that the Democrat and the Republican officially has to get back to working together for the betterment of America. Fuck your left and your right values. It has to come down to the people, the struggling middle class people right now who can't buy groceries, who can't afford fucking gas.
We don't. I want to.
Hey Bailey, I blocked the wrong guy. Bailey, I blocked Chris Morton or something. Can you unblock him? Sorry.
Real quick, and I know we're short on time, but I saw a TikTok the other day of a guy, and I know you don't like Instacart, but he went back to 2019, Coach, and looked at an order from Instacart, ordered the exact same thing in 2024. It was double the amount that it was in 2019. Double, in fact, more than double. How can he? I just don't get how people, regular people,
some places.
How do they survive?
They can't. I couldn't imagine, man. I do all right, you know what I mean? And I got a lot of revenue streams coming in from everything from my old whiskey sign to my cigars today and my book royalties, and I get money coming in from other things. So I do fine. And I'm solo, Jeff. I'm single, solo, 2 dogs. I have no one to support. I have nothing but just me being a dumbass spending crazy money on shit just for me. I could not imagine having 3 kids and a wife and multiple, things that I have to pay for. Like, I couldn't imagine it. I'm in line all the time because I love going grocery shopping in person. I'm in line every time, and I see these families. Like, I've seen so many countless times now over the last few months where people are like, "Oh, take this off, take this out, take
I think
this
about
off."
that myself, man. How, like, look, I'll be 35 on Wednesday. That's my birthday on Wednesday, and I
Man, happy birthday! You gotta come on.
Yeah, I think about like what you just said. I have no kids, I have a wife. I really don't have any, so I can go out and do the things I want to do. But I feel so bad for people. There's nothing they can do. They try, most of America, they try to go out and work, and it's a shame. It really is, and it doesn't seem like there's much end in sight.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now I'm hearing Social Security. Social Security is already being fucked. My mom could tell you straight out. And her husband, who passed away, was a veteran. They're getting fucked. Our veterans and our Social Security for the future. In 10 years, we may not have Social Security in this country. And I'm just telling you right now, so be prepared for that. But I'm hearing Social Security money is going to Ukraine as well. What the fuck are we doing? Now, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's true yet or not. I'm just telling you, it's fucking crazy.
Zelensky better, enjoy it now, because if he gets the wrong decision, that faucet's getting cut the fuck off. So, and
think about America, what it used to be. America used to be, this great place where we could go and enjoy our fruits of our labor. Like, we worked 40-hour weeks, it used to be, and we wore a suit and tie, and you saw a lot of that in the streets. Nowadays, it's such a joke. You can't even get off. You got to work 80 hours a week and make even less money than you did because the inflation, and you can't even take your family to the lake, to the ocean, to the river. Can't get a boat. You can't get recreational vehicles. You can't have fun anymore. It's work, pay taxes, die.
Hey, Coach, and you know what's really sad too? We talk about sending money to Ukraine and the Gaza Strip. That's where the money goes. Do you know how many active conflicts there are right now in the world? Active. Sure. Where there are genocides going on, over 100, I believe 109 active conflicts. And remember, most of them, Coach, you will never hear one fucking word about. Not one. Do you realize in Africa there are multiple conflicts where hundreds of people are dying per day? Haiti is a hellscape. Myanmar is a hellscape. I mean, these have been conflicts for years, and we never do one fucking thing about them. And they're significantly worse than other ones. We don't do anything about them, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Hey, it's been a hell of a show. Appreciate you on this Monday. If you get, I know you'll be back Friday for sure. If not, come on Wednesday on your birthday if you ain't doing nothing. And we'll chop it up. But enjoy the rest of the week if I don't see you. And happy birthday if I don't see you. And are you doing a show on your birthday? If you are, everybody has to go in there and drop.
I'll probably do a show. Wednesday night. Maybe later. I'm going to get another car this week. I fucking hate my car, so I'm getting another car. I got to do something for myself.
I got an interesting story. So I'm buying a boat, and it's a badass motherfucker too. It's unbelievable. So my truck, my Cadillac that I love so much, won't pull it. The boat's too big, trailer's too big. My truck won't pull it. My truck only pulls about 8,000. The boat alone's 9,500 plus the trailer. So I got to go get something that pulls 11,000 plus pounds. So I go buy a truck, a new truck, this past weekend. I get in it, I like it and all, but I find out this ain't big enough either. It would have pulled it, but it would have been very minimal. So it's actually classified as a yacht. The boat is, by the way. It's a 33-footer. So I reneged on it. It was already approved. I had to put a couple grand down on it. I was like, So now I'm back to where I'm like, fuck. So now I'm dealing with that today. So I hear what you're saying. I got too many cars though. I got to get rid of a couple cars.
I remember when I was a kid, we had a boat for several years. And anybody in here will tell you, a boat is a costly thing to have, man. Because remember, as you said, you have to have a truck, okay?
Trailer.
It costs a lot to fuel it. And most people, like at least for when we had it, we had a slip. We had to have a boat slip. It was, I'll tell you, get a jet ski. Way easier. You can, do similar things that you would do with a boat. Get one of those 2-3 person jet skis, significantly smaller. But yeah, boats are costly, bro.
Yeah. And you know what? My dad always had one, and that's why I want to get one, because his biggest thing to me was he wanted his ashes dropped on a certain lake.
Okay.
And so I'm getting a boat just on GP. And I like, you know what? I'm one of those guys that like, I'm not really tripping at the Malik Neighbors at the titty bar thing, because I live life one day at a time too. And I'm like, fuck it. You only live once. I'm going to go out and do my thing.
Listen, everybody has their things they like to do, right?
Yeah.
Some people like to go to strip clubs. Some people like boats. I like to
and
play.
You know, the thing is, Jeff, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get this big bitch. And my dad always told me, boat stands for about another 1,000. And that's how much money you put in every fucking day. And that is just what it is. And it's like, So if anybody out there has a hookup on, I'm looking at a GMC Denali 2500 or a Chevy Silverado 2500. I need a 2500.
Buddy.
That is what it is. But if I get this boat, Jeff, I'll send you a video. It is unfucking believable. It's a straight party yacht. I mean, naked bitches. We're doing it all. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to take it and slip it down in the beach, in Long Beach. I'm going to slip it.
That's one of the strong things about a boat. You will have women all the time.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to take it from the ocean. I'm going to fresh water, clean that bitch off, run it through the engine, and then I'm going to take it to the lake. And I'm going to do that here and there. That's what I'll do.
And I remember because I did them, those boater safety courses and stuff. I mean, you got to take them seriously because you got to know all sorts of shit when you use it.
Yeah, we're going to do a show on there called Boats and Hoes. And we're gonna do a show on the boat. You know that. If I get this,
that would be peak JB. That would be great.
Let's do it. All right, Jeff. I'll see you this week. Happy birthday, and appreciate everybody.
All right, guys.
That, like, subscribe. We're out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Talk That Talk Tuesday. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown kill the ass a rap.